Good morning and welcome back. We promised we'd be here at 8:30, and we were. Practice is underway, just about done. It is done now. Craig Elliott along with Terry Rohr back in the booth from Cuba KMF. Good morning, Terry. Welcome back.
Morning, everyone.
We've got a little treat for you. This starting five-some on 27 and 8. Kevin Williams, Jean Perez, and Liz Johnson. I think most people have probably heard of Liz a few hundred times. Arguably the best female bowler in existence ever in the universe.
There's a couple.
Any competition?
There's a couple that would like to disagree with you, but
well, yeah, that's an easy discussion to have.
Yes, and but there's no one probably nicer. Oh no, everyone's
I'm
nice.
nicer.
It seems like, yeah, but no, she's a sweet girl and a great bowler, and another one of those that when she beats you, you don't feel bad about it because she's so nice when she does it.
And the theme of the day today is surface.
Yeah, the rumor is, now it's just unconfirmed rumors, but the Lane Machine battery ran out trying to put all this oil out here today. They had to recharge the Lane Machine. As you can see, Kevin Williams is a little tight against the ball return there on the right lane.
Yeah, on the ball return, frame one on the right lane for the left-hander.
He has a little drift to the right, so that helps. But you can see he's thrown at it about 3 miles an hour to get that ball to show some kind of reaction down lane.
And you were watching Liz quite a bit in practice. She wasn't getting
she has
the ball to the head pin, has she?
She has hitting the 3-pin down. She's tickled the head pin a couple times on the right side of it, and tackled it a couple times trying to get the ball to do that.
She was just set him up for herself.
You know, you and I said as they started splashing the ball down into the front part of the lane today that there's no setting the lane up. But maybe I was witnessing greatness and didn't realize it.
We might have been.
Of course, it'll be fun to watch because we're going to get lessons on spares today.
Also, of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pairs right in front of us to our right, Liz is the leader with the strike. Nobody else is struck. We do have a couple off to the left, but yeah, early on, it's always like this. This is the 40-something, 45th, I believe. They don't have it listed this year. It's 40-something Bradley Open, and this tournament's known here in the Midwest for being extremely difficult.
It looks like the Salute of Champions on the back of their entry form starts in 1979. So
42, 43.
Give or take a number there. It's too early. I'm only halfway through my coffee, so
too soon to do math.
Yeah, carry the one.
But as you know, the history of this tournament is always a challenge. There's always a lot of oil. It's thick. It's soupy. It's, it is what it is. And players coming here know when they earn this title, they've earned something special. And the strength of the fields, the last 10 years just gets tougher and tougher and tougher.
Yep. And we've got a few of the guys sliding through between Jonesboro and the Tournament of Champions, trying to take their hand at $12,000 en route to the $100,000 payday in Akron. But this will be a challenge for him, that's for sure.
Yeah, defending champion Westmont, I don't think he's going to be in the field this year. E.J. Tackett, Justin Knowles, who has actually made the finals 3 years in a row. He won it in 2017, then made the finals the next 2 years. He lost to Westmont last year. Brandon Novak with back-to-back titles in 15 and 16. And actually could have been 3 in a row. He could have won in 2014 as well. He made a heck of a run, but Tommy Jones won it then. Tony Lambert's won this multiple times. But look at these other, these other champions. Tom Smallwood, Dan McClellan, Jeff Fair, Brian Dennis, Brad Snell, Brian Wallachek, Nick Vogelsang. I mean, those are all guys from this area that are pretty darn good.
Yeah, that
Ted Hannis, George Pappas.
Greg Short, a High State bowler, friend of mine. The list is long and envious, as they say.
And that's my new doubles partner right there for USBC's Brad Snell, former champion, the lefty.
He'll have a little more friction in Reno.
I hope so. I hope I have more friction in Reno. Gene Perez told us he was going to shoot 140 over.
140 over, or he was buying me lunch.
Well, he's got 8.
I'm wondering if I offer him just, if he buys me breakfast right now, we'll call it good. And he'll stop having to worry about trying to average 228 on Okay, so everyone's bowled a frame, and I see one double. Look at that.
Oh, yeah, a couple doubles.
Oh, yeah, there's another one. Hey, scores could be high this year. Someone might average 195.
Well, we talked yesterday. Last year was the first time I was here at Ken Bowl. We got Ronnie Sparks off to our left as well. He'll be coming to camera range, I think, game 2. Last year was an anomaly. Scores were high. First time in this center, there was more friction than what they expected. And we know the scores won't be quite as high this year. So find your favorite bowler, grab yourself a refreshing beverage and snack, sit back and relax. We've got a ton of live bowling all day today and the majority of the day tomorrow right here on Bowlstream TV.
The good news is I haven't seen anyone get mad yet, but it is early.
Other bowlers on this squad, we'll run through the roster real quick. Former champ Tracy Lambert, Oscar Palermo, Justin Knowles, Nick Crummell, Greg Young, Matt Sanders, Jeff Fair, Michael Holloman, Stu Williams, Zach Doty we saw last night. He's back here on A squad. A.J. Rice, Frank Snodgrass.
Ronnie Sparks right there off to our left. Winner of the singles shootout yesterday.
Bowling with Dakota Price, Jonathan Smith, Jeremy Coulter, Tyler Slaybaugh. Of course, we mentioned Liz Johnson, John Perez, Kevin Williams, Gene Perez. I'm just going to keep calling him John because I don't know why. That's what comes out. Michael Davidson, Steve Novak. Another former champion, Tony Lambert. Jim Pratt out of Phoenix.
This $12,000 will bring Vernon Peterson's bowling this afternoon from Florida. You got Phoenix, England, Oskus from Norway. They're coming from all over.
Oscar's from Norway?
Is it Norway?
Oh, Sweden.
He's from one of the Scandinavian countries.
Over there somewhere.
Yeah, across the pond.
And Christine Johnson is here. She totaled her car yesterday anyway here and still made it.
I saw the pictures.
It's amazing. She's
rolled the car.
Not a scratch.
And yeah, all I know is if I rolled my car on the way to a bowling tournament, I don't think I would bowl the bowling tournament. But $12,000 will make some people do some crazy things.
And she shot 299, I think, last year on camera here. So she's got some good memories.
Yeah, that's
And she'll have a heck of a memory from this trip. You know, we posed different questions yesterday. Who would you pick to bowl? You know, one shot for a strike or whatever kind of money. Things like that. I'm thinking if you look at the way we're seeing the pattern play here, where you have to be just dead right up the back of it. A guy like Chris Barnes would be just licking his chops. I mean, is there anybody that can really get up the back of it better than what he's done? I mean, don't let the ball even think about leaking right a half board here.
right.
It's not going to get there. I mean, Liz is pretty darn straight as well.
Right, and she just washed out and crumples a bucket there to.
But her little side roll is what's going to catch you. If you just get around it just a touch, that ball is it's just not going to pick up.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, Gene Perez is throwing it at about 3 miles an hour, and we all know how hard he throws it.
Maybe him not getting to sleep till 6 a.m. this morning is a benefit because he's got zero energy because that's the last thing you want.
Yeah, he was saying how his baby girl had a little ear issue last night. So being the good dad, sometimes being the road warrior bowler, dad has to take over, and It's never good being sick in a hotel room.
No.
You never have anything you need, or it's never close by. But whatever it takes to make the little girl feel better. With as much surface as I see sitting out on the rack, if everyone plays up 10, we'll be able to start a fire here later.
But at the end of game 5, when the block is over. So the one interesting thing is that they are using terrain, and the characteristics that we learn about terrain is the more rev rate, the more friction. It has a very low surface tension, so you can create some friction on terrain, but I don't know about at what volume, and that's what we're going to find out today.
Well, most people are familiar with 28 mils or 30 mils, even when we say that they think there's 55 mils out there. I don't think there's 55 mils. I think there's ounces of oil out there.
Yeah, normally you talk about, the amount of oil is half of a water bottle cap, and this is maybe half of a water bottle.
Well, we joked Liz's first shot when it landed on the lane, it splashed oil onto her trousers. Jean Perez finally gets one. Gets one that makes motion and looks good. Jean's walking up to the booth here. Jean, if you throw that good on the left lane, you might have a double.
So good morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in bright and early this morning. Here we're in Louisville, Kentucky at Ken Bowl, the Bradley Open.
There's a couple listeners in there already. So some people got up and got some coffee, wanted to see the torture going on. Thank you for joining us so early in the morning.
And thanks to all our sponsors, Motive, Classic Bowling Products, High Five Gear, Big Four Socks, Bowler Solutions, and Cubic AMF. And we have Terry Rohr back in here this morning, and we had them all last night too. Thank you, Terry, from Cubic AMF. We talked about hyper bowling and the different scoring systems, and what other new things is Cubic got? Can you just you and I talking now? Nobody's paying attention. What's the newest product coming out this year? Give us a little sneak peek.
We first off so I go to the sales meeting in December every year, and they get to give us how great we did last year, and we did have a good year, and we thank all of our customers and appreciate all the support from everybody. But then the R&D team likes to get up and do a little presentation and kind of give us the hint of what's coming. And they don't like to tell the sales guys everything, because we'll run out and say, oh, we got this and we got that. And so there's some things still in the works, some really impressive things coming along. I think at Bowl Expo this year, they're hoping to introduce a kiosk, and that would work within your Conquer. Conquer is our operating system that is behind what the customer doesn't see behind the front desk, that kind of turns lanes on and off and takes care of everything. And BestX, of course, people know about. That's our scoring system with all the games. But the kiosk is kind of the hint that may be coming down the pike. And you can order your food at McDonald's from a kiosk. You can check into your airplane. People are getting kind of used to that and being able to come in and pay. There are some people that don't want to interact with humans, and then there are people that will still walk to that front desk because they want to speak to a live person. So being able to give the customers, our customers, their customers options. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
All right. So
what about the kiosk being able to, they can tune into Bowlstream TV and YouTube while they're bowling?
I don't know if you want someone standing in front of your kiosk for a couple hours, but
that's true.
They can do
How
it.
about make it interact with BestX?
Well, I think it's more from just getting paid, getting to your lane, that
Gotcha.
kind of thing. Yeah. Pay your bill, pay for your stuff. Just kind of, if there's a line at the desk and you can come in and go to the kiosk and get your name on the waiting list, swipe your card so you can go to the bar and you've got your tab started, all those kind of things. So some neat things coming down. They didn't give us all the details, but so I'm looking forward to Bowl Expo out in Denver this year over the 4th of July weekend. Be neat to see all the new stuff we have out. Of course, we'll show off hyper bowling again and our new string machine. Bowl Expo is really neat from the bowling proprietor's perspective. It's their, everyone hears about the golf show and everything that's new to the industry. That's kind of where it's showed off, and you can get to see it and test it and play with it. And we have, we had 200 people in our booth for the better part of every hour that the booth was open. And Jay Nephew Bowler from Texas, he does the emceeing up there and runs our hyper bowling contest. We give some proprietors a chance to earn some money, and we have some pros come in and throw some shots, and it's always interesting to watch them have fun on hyper bowling.
I think we should have a manufacturer contest this year at Bowl Expo so I can bowl. That's my suggestion.
You know, I can keep the lanes open for an hour if we want to put that together. Someone brings a cooler full of beer, we can make anything happen.
Done. Liz chops that spare. And she had a good solid game going, staying clean, and then that. So I mean that's also the theme of the day is manage your mistakes. Look at somebody over on 29-30 had a front four. What the heck? Don't they know they're not supposed to do that? Probably a two-handed lefty throwing backup ball, that'd be my guess. Kicking it down the lane. There's Steve Novak with more than a little bit of surface on his bowling ball coming up on 29-30.
That looks like a boulder. That doesn't look like a bowling ball. There's craters in that. He may make it around to get in 5 games. He may be here in game 5 since he's just to the right of the camera. I think the skip was 4. Skip 4, ball in the 5th. And he's piping rockets at the 1-3.
So Terry, you bowled events like this. So this isn't pins drop, right? So you just need to be in the top 50 on this squad, and there's I think 80, not quite 80 bowlers. So okay, so you need to be just under half the field. How do you? I mean, guys like Kevin and Gene, they're used to striking all the day long. How do they get their mentality to say, look, I don't need to shoot 240s. I just need to shoot, they can probably average 180 and make the cut. I mean, minus 100, you can easily make the top 50. Well, how do you, in your head, to get yourself in that position where that's all you want to do? And then, but doing that, can that also put you in trouble?
Yeah, it's like trying to get 9 in a no-tap tournament. Seems like you always get 8 when you're trying to get 9. Yeah. And, my mentality was always go throw the best shot you can. And your score you throw good shots, your score will result in that. Be a number that makes it. You can't, I was never a guy that had to look at the number and say, oh my God, I need this or I need that. It seemed like I never threw it good when I knew when I need a 230 game, I could guarantee myself if I knew that, I was shooting 225.
Squeeze factor.
Yeah. Hence the reason I'm selling it instead of throwing it. But no, I think a bowler's mentality, especially on something like this, is to stay focused, one shot at a time. The old cliches of I'm going to take it one shot at a time, and Lord willing, the team's behind me, and we're going to make it, right? So in an individual sport, tennis, golf, bowling, you've got to just stay focused. Know that if you're on a bad pair, the next pair might be good, and just keep grinding. Because this is definitely not like yesterday, what everyone saw. You can quickly put yourself behind the 8 ball. Liz is rolling that ball. She's probably never seen the colors spin like that on that ball.
No. Here's a look at Ronnie Sparks. Oops, wrong camera, sorry. Maybe we'll look at Ronnie Sparks. My first time doing this.
He's coming in there on lane 24.
We switched cameras, so
yep.
It is my first time doing this. All right, let's just go back to this pair where we know what's happening. I didn't finish my coffee yet, because I don't drink coffee. It's bad for you. Stunts your growth.
Does it?
Yeah. Too late for me.
So that's why I went from 5'11" in high school to 5'9" now? Kevin Williams swung one to the left.
Oh, peeled it off a little bit.
There must be a little friction just left of the 3 board there.
Where'd you find friction? Now the quarter board.
It is hard for a lane machine to put some oil on that first board.
And it's even harder for a bowler to throw it there.
I miss the days of the spray gun and a mop, because that would have made this impossible. You put this much oil out there and swing it around with a mop.
The old basketball. Drop the ball at 40 feet down lane with a little puddle. That ball had no chance. Zero chance whatsoever. But he missed a spare to the left earlier. Figured that's not going to happen again. And, well, he proved himself correct.
Yesterday, if you shot your 7th spare, you were out. You hit 772, made the cut in the singles event. And today, your 7th spare keeps you in the game.
It's going to be frame 8.
Yeah. Oh, Liz open double, so she's back to plus.
I'm going to take Liz over Jean today. There's our prop bet.
There's the prop bet. Gene says he's going 140 over Buy Me Lunch. But for all of you who know Gene, he he finally got his double. For all of you who know Gene, that is the slowest we've ever seen him throw it. He cannot throw it any slower.
$16 miles an hour. Yeah, I don't have that in me.
I have to, for me to throw at 16 miles an hour, I have to stick in a downwind downhill.
Push it down the ramp with 2 hands.
I don't even think it's going 16 miles.
Yeah, Gene thinks the cameras are off, which he could be right. Ken Bolt here, the owners here. Ken Bolt might have the camera set a little add a little speed to everybody's shot, make them feel more confident. Of course, there's no friction on this lane to slow anything down either.
So, the ball's not slowing down.
He literally could be throwing at 12 miles an hour and it's speeding up down the lane.
So we actually had a center back in northern Michigan, a gentleman I work with. And I've told, people watching, I still throw the ball 21 miles an hour. Always have. It used to be faster. But so this guy I worked with was telling me that, and this guy is 60 years old. I mean, he makes Pete Weber look large. He's telling me he's throwing the ball 30 miles an hour. I'm like, no, I know better than that. But, I'm being polite. I'm not going to say anything. So I go bold at his center one time. My first shot, it reached 50. I shot a 10-pin that read 77 miles an hour. So, yeah, I think they're off a little bit. Just a little bit.
I should show our eShop. For all of you out there, Cubica has eShop. It's Amazon for pin setter parts is the basic way to say it. The owner there might want to get on and buy some new cameras. But any kind of pin setter part, anything that Cubica AMF sells for aftermarket, you can find on eShop.
Oh,
you
pretty solid shot and 10-pin. Little wrap 10 for a lefty.
Yeah, but eShop, just to give you an example, you can get on eShop, and if you've got a nickname for a part, like the pork chop, everyone knows on the Brunswick machine there's a part called a pork chop. You can literally type in pork chop, and that part will come up. Pictures. You can also look through diagrams of every type of machine that's out there and find parts. The best part about it is you can see what we have in stock, you can see your price, and you can see the part. We have a picture of the part. So we have a way for you to double check your order before if you just fire in a part number. And there are many mechanics out there that send parts back because they ordered the wrong part. You can search by half a part number, and then of course the picture shows up. It's a really, really neat function.
I like the function. You can even just search by the nickname though, because how many times, you're trying to type in whatever it is, you don't think of the name, but it's, like you say, it's what it has a nickname for. That's a nice function.
No, every part comes in a bag basically, or 90% of the time. Kevin didn't stay on the lane. He, the mechanic opens it up with his dirty fingers and he rubs half the part number, or he rips half the part number in half, and he can't see it. Just start typing in some of those part numbers, and it will bring up every part that has those numbers in it, and that will give you, hey, that's the part I need right there. So you only need a few of the part numbers to find it. And plus, you can order house balls and rental shoes and pins right off that site. So really neat for, like I said, Amazon for pin setter parts. It doesn't listen to you like your phone does, but as I'm sure now my phone is sitting here listening to me, and when I turn it on, Amazon will come up.
Yep.
I think the 248.
My phone just buzzed. I think Amazon just texted me. Thanks, Terry.
Yeah. The 248 is going to be a popular leave today.
Here's our friends at Savage Bowling TV. Good morning and welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in. So I didn't believe I didn't believe the whole iPhone list. I mean, yeah, you just see that something pops up on Facebook that you might have searched or whatever. But I can tell you, a month and a half ago, when I realized that it really does listen to what you're saying. So Monday morning, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning. I got up at 7:30, took my daughter to school. I don't always drive down to the plant. And I don't do it on the same day, so I don't have like a pattern when I drive into the office. Thursday morning, I wake up, taking my daughter to school. I tell my wife, hey, I'm going into work this morning. I'll see you at 4 o'clock. As soon as I get into my car, it gives me Google Maps, 53 minutes to the office. I said, that's all I said is I'm going into work today.
My daughter tried an experiment. Her and her friend decided to test it. So neither of them have ever been on a kayak, have never wanted to talk about kayaks, never wanted to go kayaking. But they decided to start talking about kayaks. Now, the agreement was that they would talk about it around their phones, but never Google it, never search it, never look for anything. They wanted to see how many days it might take for something kayak ad to pop up, kayaks on sale or kayak adventure, something like that. So they started talking about it, and they would talk about it at work or that night, and it was less than 24 hours. So in 24 hours, their phone had deducted they were talking about kayaking, maybe wanted to go kayaking, and ended up sending them information about a kayak trip and an ad for kayaks being on sale in their Facebook feed. I can't believe that it really does that and how smart it is.
Yeah, it's scary at times when you realize that somebody's listening.
All right, so Gene Perez going for the 4-bagger here. Got a strike on the bad lane here. See if we can do that again. Liz is.
Here we got work for you right there, Billy Conner. They're going to need some pins soon. So
awesome.
There you go.
Well, Billy's in Ohio, so he would need to call Kathy Dorn-Lizzie. She is the salesperson for Ohio, doing a great job over there.
You should get a percentage on me because you just.
Because I mentioned it here.
Yeah.
I'll tell Kathy.
Kathy.
Kathy bought me lunch the other day. I had to drive from Indiana to eastern Kentucky. My easiest way is down 75. So I of course have to go through her territory. Oh, look at that. He's got his 4-bagger. And so I said, hey, how about I meet you for lunch? If you're working that territory, I'll, and she goes, yeah, let's meet for lunch. So the bill comes. Oh, Liz. The bill comes, and she picks the check up. And I go, well, I would expect you to buy. It's your territory. Right? And she just laughed. I said, you come to my territory, I'll buy anytime you want. She goes, well, I never come to Indiana. I said, then thanks for lunch.
Yeah, right. Whose fault is that?
Tell me the next time you're working Cincinnati, and I'll drive through here again. I promise.
So apparently Gene was listening to us in our phones as well, because after I just said I think Liz is going to finish higher than Gene today, Liz goes spare open, and Gene just throws a couple more strikes.
The Rob Stone 4-bagger, which by the way, we probably should call it. Like you said, the one guy started with the front 4, hasn't struck since, and Gene's got a ham bone, so maybe we should use it since it's TV show day there on Fox.
Great show from Jonesboro. Hall of Famers all over that stepladder final, along with Kyle Troop and A.J. Johnson.
Did you happen to send a text to Chris Barnes to see if he's going to be wearing something loud for the losing the last game?
No, I didn't want to interrupt his daily routine.
He's got a big ladder to climb today.
Yeah, match one, you get your buddy Tommy Jones. Then, hey, if
Hall
you
of
win
Famer?
that, you get Belmonte. So way to
Future
like
Hall
you
of
win
Famer.
something. And then the youngster A.J. Johnson is waiting for the winner of that one, and then Kyle Troop.
Kevin Williams surprised by that one.
So what's the biggest string? We've seen a couple 4-baggers, and over on 29-30, we've got strikes in the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. That's Steve Novak.
Yeah, and who's he bowling next to there? Is that Weigel? No, that's Novak with the 4-bagger.
Yeah, it's Novak with the 4-bagger.
Weigel's got 3 in a row there. Trying to shoot 220. So Gene's got a chance to be 200 on his pair. The pair in front of us here, I don't see a 200 coming. Novak looks like he's probably going to shoot 200. Oh, there's a 206 with spare in the 9th. So that's a 250 game possible. So there's some scores to be had, it looks like. But for the most part, Novak with the first one in the 10th. So So he's happy he didn't stay here till midnight, 12:30 last night, bowling doubles. He went home and got some rest.
Yeah, he bowled
Played
the
with the baby.
singles and didn't bowl well and hit the road.
And Gene Perez,
Oh,
that's going to hurt.
4. Wow.
Well, he's not looking back at the camera.
He's not going to look at anybody now.
I'm pretty sure he didn't practice anything trying to get the ball right side of the headpin.
Yeah, or practice shooting this spare.
So there's a chance the headpin goes straight back here because it doesn't hook over there. And if he throws it hard and straight, it could back up in the oil and go take the headpin straight back. Oh, he's going to try to hook it. And, how did that happen?
What an effort.
Holy cow. So 200 on the nose. That's the high game on the pair.
Nothing wrong with that.
And how many splits did we talk about lane 28 having last night?
Had 19 in the last game
Yeah, that
for 10 guys.
so Gene's going to go down to 1 and 2 because they're going to skip 4 pairs. Yeah, I think you threw it 17 miles an hour, Gene. $190 for Nolan White there. 179. Possible 150 with a spare. Oh, there's a possible 09 there for player C. Who's player C here? 25 and 6. 25. C is Robert Borkowski.
Yes, you see that line. Strike 3-4, triple, 9 miss, 6-2 double. And no, we're not making fun of the bowlers here. It's just these are the things you're going to see today. You're going to see some strange leaves.
Gene Perez taking 4. Is that the super PBA washout?
Yeah, I don't know about that one. But even that, so I mean, look at Gene, strike 9 spare, 4-bagger. Yeah, he's there. 4. No, he didn't miss by much.
And he said he got just a little quick. Ronnie Sparks shooting a spare there on the left side of your screen. He's bowling, spare up in the 9th. Possible 172 if he strikes out. There's a 200 on his pair there. They'll be flying by the cameras.
So the skip 4, is that what you said?
Yep.
So we're gonna,
Skip 4 ball on the
AJ
5th.
Rice. Looks like we got AJ Rice the next game and Frank Snodgrass and their group.
And the left lane will have Kevin Price, Josh Mitchell, Doug Hemos, Jeremy Thomas, Brandon Flora, Zach Doty hitting our left TV pair, James Sully, Tommy Katz,
TKS.
TKACZ.
Yep.
This is why I would never make it on. And Roy Clark, and then Michael Ingram, Billy Vincent, AJ Rice, Harry Cross, and Frank Snodgrass will be coming to 27 and 28.
And Dustin Zahner. He's an Indiana
No,
kid,
he's
isn't he? Dustin?
That's he starts the next. He'll go to 29.
29. Oh, yeah, I see the dark line there.
Yep.
So we get a short break. Back with game 2 here in just a minute. Thanks for watching.
More coffee.
right, as promised, game 2 was after game 1, and here we are. We've got it. Mike Doyle, welcome back. Good morning. Watching up in the chilly, snowy northeast Maine, right, Mike? Up in Maine.
How do you keep track where all these viewers are from?
You know, I tell you what, that we have some very, very loyal viewers that watch all the stuff, and I appreciate every one of them. And we get to know each other through the chat and where they're from. Sadiq from Bahrain usually watches all the shows.
Wow.
I have not seen Sadiq yet this weekend, but I'm sure we will.
I was like, what time is it over there? Probably 7, 8 hours ahead? So
I think it was 8 hours.
Yeah,
I think as we figured out, yeah.
middle of the
8 hours.
afternoon over there?
But, you know, that's one of the, we were talking about some of the cool things yesterday. That's one of the nicest things over the 7 years I've been doing this is you get some of the same viewers all the time that just tune in and watch it. They just enjoy bowling. And we show multiple levels of bowling and multiple types of tournaments. And this is one of the tougher ones to watch at times with the amount of oil on the lanes. And we're not going to, well, I bet you we're not going to see 300 today.
I'm not taking the bet.
I don't think it'll happen.
If I,
At least, at least not on these two pairs. We won't see it here.
What did we see? 4 or 5 in a row? That was the best we saw?
Yeah. I don't think we'll see 300 today. So, I mean, if you want to see high scores, well,
you should have
watch
tuned
me
in last
golf.
night.
Yeah, watch me play golf. If you want to see some high scores.
Yeah, last night there were some high scores.
But we're going to see some, some. I mean, look, AJ Rice here. There's no question he's one of the toughest players out there right now. The guy strikes like crazy all day long on a lot of different stuff. But let's see what he's got going here.
But helping with the cause, he has a split on lane 28.
Yeah.
We already have 2 splits on the pair. This, how do you randomly pick 2 pairs when you walk in a bowling center and realize one is going to be a high-scoring pair and the other one is going to be a pair no one can strike on? Yeah, if you want TV time, this is the tournament you want to bowl in because you're going to get 2 shots every time you're up there.
Every frame just about, yeah. A little bit of loft, late 7-10.
Look at that. He knows how good a break that is. AJ Rice with back-to-back 8-pin spares there. No, it's neat. Just all the viewers, and like you told me off the air last night that someone messaged you that the first time she got to see her grandson bowl.
It was here at the Bradley.
Yeah. And that's really cool when people are being able to watch their loved ones bowl or their friends bowl. It's what it's all about. Bringing bowling to the masses is really cool, but being able to see friends and watch how they do and support them. Oh, he turned his back. Stand that back up. Isn't that the rule? If you turn your back on it?
If you don't see it fall, did it really happen?
Did a
The
bear?
answer is no.
Did a bear?
So that's the one thing. So we talked yesterday about how bowlers and viewers have expected different things with the advent of streaming. And one of the things that's very difficult, and I've explained it multiple times to people, is no, instant replay is not in play. Yes, I can rewind things I've already recorded, but we don't use instant replay. 1, it's not in the tournament rules. And 2, why it's not fair. Okay, so we have this pair on. What if somebody on 1 and 2 has something happen?
Right.
Sorry, we don't, so.
Right.
But I've had arguments with people before. Well, you can replay it. Tell me what happened. Well, no, it's your responsibility to see what happened.
Yes.
Right? It's not mine. It's not yours. It's not anybody else here. It's your responsibility to watch the pins fall. So that's a great lesson. And I've seen people lose tournaments because of that. It might have been it was not in Fort Wayne. It was in, I'll think of it here. West of Fort Wayne, a small town, Columbia
City.
City. Tournament there. Same situation happened where the bowler threw the ball. Championship match. So it's $2,000 or $1,000 swing. It's a $1,000 swing, $2,000 or $1,000.
Right.
And kind of turned around, and the 4-9 was standing. And that, apparently everybody kind of looked away, as it happened, because it was kind of a crucial frame. Well, it needs a spare strike, whatever. Turned around, and all of a sudden the pins were gone. And nobody was watching what happened.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah. Well,
Reset the 4-9 and shoot your spare.
yeah. I mean, nobody knew how it fell. The machine hit it. Did it not hit it?
Frank Snodgrass smash 7.
And there's been other situations where we've had things like that happen where people want to say, hey, can you show me? Broke a pin.
Stu Williams walking by the camera here. Oh, Stu Williams, always a character.
So here we have some tournament information verified from Jason Uswald, director. So this is A squad. They oiled this morning. Took them 6 hours to oil 24 lanes, or 36 lanes is as slow as the machine had to go to get all the oil down there. But no re-oil for B squad. So 5 games, no re-oil. B squad comes in. But you know, it doesn't matter. They're cutting per squad anyway. So
Right.
You got what you got. It doesn't matter what A squad does. Just be in the top 50.
On your
then
squad, yep.
Desperado squad, which is a 2-gamer, so it's a last chance. All pins drop, and then the advancers round scheduled for 7 o'clock tonight.
And then they'll
6
re-oil.
games.
Then they re-oil the lanes, and they come back on Tuesday or Wednesday when the oil machine's done.
Done, yeah.
And
It will be back to fresh for the
7 o'clock squad.
advancers round
Yeah.
tonight, yeah.
And then top 108 will make it to Sunday morning.
No, that's tonight.
Or
So
tonight,
they
right.
Cut, yeah, they cut after tonight. To, what's the number? I didn't ask him that. I don't remember. I should know this. I've done this 5 times.
Cut to the cashers
40.
tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
So the top 40 come back
Top
tomorrow.
40 come back tomorrow.
So the 108 bowling tonight at 7 o'clock.
Is the advancers round. Top 40 is the cashier's round.
Right.
So even if you make the top 50, you're not guaranteed money, obviously. You have to bowl another 6 games to get to the top 40.
Yeah, he said that they bowl 5 games of qualifying, and then if you don't make it, you can bowl 2 more in the Desperado,
Yep.
and then they re-oil the lanes and you bowl 6 games tonight. There's going to be some. Well, it's not like you have to throw it hard and you're going to get tired.
No.
Throwing it slow is a prerequisite. Requisite. All right.
Josh Bowen bowled last night. I think he must be on B squad. Josh Bowen did shoot 300 yesterday. No, he is. No, he's not bowling this squad. He shot 300 in a 262 game actually yesterday.
We saw 2 262 games.
On the same pair.
It bowled different ways. One guy went
Completely
5
different
spare.
ways.
7 spare, 5 spare sheet for 262. A.J. Rice finally gets the 8-pin out and trips a 6. See that? See that? I've watched these lefty strikes so much, I'm actually calling the pins that he didn't trip a 4 there like most right-handers. He tripped a 6. By the way, for those of you that are watching Billy get a strike on lane 27, he's wearing the Big Four socks, one of the sponsors of last night's doubles tournament.
Dave Slavin.
David Slavin, and David has a birthday today, so happy birthday. If you guys know David, reach out and say happy birthday. Now, wouldn't it be nice if 10,000 people would just flood his phone right now? He would.
And buy socks.
Well, just to say happy birthday. The buying socks is a bonus for him. Yeah. Now, a proud supporter of a bunch of tournaments and does a great job. Proud to call David a friend. Yeah, Stu Williams walked by the booth and said we watched Mr. Holloman shoot a 4 spare down there, and he still had 37 in the third with a 4 spare.
Yeah, open, spare, open, double for Holloman. 55 in the fourth. And strikes in the fifth and sixth.
Probably just had to move his eyes a little more right than what he thought.
I think a lot of, with this kind of oil, kind of even moving your target down lane, right? Really keep that follow through extended.
There's another split.
Yeah.
So now we've got 5 on this pair. Not that we're counting the splits on 27 and 28, but it has been a fun thing to do for the past 2 days.
Franklin going to reset and try that one more time.
Let's see. Everyone got practice on that first pair, so you would expect to see some better games. You know, you get practice on the pair, you know what it's going to do. Then you move to the next pair, and I literally don't see a 3-bagger. Nope, front 3 right there at 1.
Front 3, 7 spare.
And that is it. Nope, there's one way down there. So as far as I can see, I see 2 3-baggers halfway through game 2. So this is where everyone jumps into that deep into the pool, and all right, let's see who did what to this pair that I just came to.
Even watching some of these players shoot spares, you have to get this isn't your leak shot. You cannot leak it right. The ball will do absolutely nothing. So look at Frank here. He's going to move way right and just throw it straight. You're not going to try to really hook at this. Or normally he would swing at this spare. Nice job, Franklin.
There's no swing here.
0. You can try. Go ahead. You can try. Not going to happen.
You know, the one thing we haven't seen is 3 off the right yet.
That's surprising.
It's kind of hard to put 3 off the right when most of the people are playing
Yeah,
right to left instead of left to
they're
right.
pointing it dead at the 2-pin, watching the ball back up.
I've heard guys say before, man, I just couldn't score today. I kept chopping the 2 off the 10.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe that's a strategy here. You know, line up, move right, line up, try to hook it at a 7-pin. And, you know, right?
And still,
right?
and still hit the 3-pin in the
pocket.
face.
Yeah, hit 3-pin in the face.
So Mr. Ingram there gets that lucky break and then comes back with a stone 9. The bowling gods can be cruel.
They always are. They always are. The bowling gods don't like being nice to anybody.
I've always said one day I'll get even. And then I realized I'm so far behind I'd have to average 300 the rest of my life. Stu Williams down there with a clean game so far, but no doubles. But he's got a strike up here. After 1. Scores are up. Nope. And Stu just split. We're going to. All right. What do you think the high game is?
227.
All right. 227 would put you in 7th place.
So scores are coming from the low end again.
Yeah. Yep, lane 7, lane 21, lane 30. Steve Novak is third. And Jacob Yazell was on lane 12, lane 15, lane 9, lane 6. So your camera should have been at the low end if people wanted to see high scores. But just to give you an idea, Jeff Fair shoots 248 to be our game 1 leader in the clubhouse. Caleb Miller, 246. Steve Novak, and it was 244. Then Jacob and Tommy shoot 234. And let's just scroll down through here. Michael Holloman, 216. Where's 25th place is Harry Cross the third with 203. So there are 29 people. Gene Perez with 200 on the nose. 29 people with 200 or better. And Matt Sanders, 193. Liz Johnson, 187. We saw that on our TV
So
pair.
it's 50th. That's the number.
50th place is Brett Shepard with 177. 177.
So 115 under pace to make the cut.
Well,
Chris Sakara, I told him he's coming in later this for B squad. He said bring Aberlon pads. He said just going to roll the ball in the parking lot.
find a couple
That might work.
potholes.
Yeah, that might work.
All right, there's another split on 27 and 28. That one was almost made. We're up to 6 with 4 players or 5 players.
So Jeff Fair, the leader, he's won this tournament before. Obviously, he knew what he was getting into.
Yeah, there's a question for the viewers. So if you're going to a tournament with this kind of format where A squad bowls on the fresh, B squad bowls on the burn, and then they re-oil for the next cut onto the fresh, do you come and bowl on A squad so you know what you're going to, if you come and beat 50 people, you are going to bowl tonight on fresh? Would you want to know what you're going to bowl on tonight so you want to bowl A squad? Or do you bowl on B squad where you know you've got, say, a little friction where your scores might be a little higher and you can make that cut easy and then take your chances on the fresh?
I think normally I would want to bowl on the burn, but because you only have to beat a portion of the field, top 50 make it, I think fresh is the way to go.
Yep. That's what I would do.
But then you have to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning and be here for A squad. And
Well, older guy like myself, I'm waking up that time anyway. It's hard for me to sleep, and I feel like I'm missing the day.
well, by 7 a.m. you've been up 3 times to pee anyway, so might as well go bowling.
That is,
But I think so. That's just. I mean, we can just kind of look here. So saying that let's make the assumption that the older guys are going to be up earlier, right? The younger kids are out late, whatever. They bowled last night or they went to the bar. Let's stereotype a little bit and look at. There's an older clientele maybe. And I mean, well, Jeff Fair is leading, right?
Jeff's not old.
Well, he's got to be in his 40s.
It's crazy. I
Right.
forget that I'm old, and all these people
Yeah.
that I watched grow up as kids
Right.
are now old.
They're getting there. Yes.
Yes, it definitely looks like it skews old from where we're sitting.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
then
we'll see this afternoon, but it's an easy assumption.
Yeah, keeping in mind that it's $12,000. Some kids are smart enough to realize getting up early for 12 grand is something you have to do. So Zach Doty's on the other pair here in front of us. He can strike out for a 2-0 game.
And Zach has bowled on some tough stuff in college, but probably nothing quite like this.
The PGA Tour, it's a learning experience. You have to learn the courses. You have to learn how to travel. You have to figure out how to eat in a crappy restaurant and show up the next day and bowl. And same with bowling on tour and bowling these tournaments. You have to get used to one day hitting your ball with lane screen to get it to roll, and the next day throwing urethane because the next week you're on a 25-foot pattern.
Yeah.
But somewhere in the middle there, you've got to learn how do I get from, like Stu and Oscar Druven from they drive in from Jonesboro, hit this, and when they're done here, they'll head to Akron. And when you're spending time in the States, you try to hit them all while you can, take advantage of it. But along the way, that's maybe a crappy motel or a crappy meal.
I think, yeah, to your point, I think people might underestimate the people that haven't done it. Travel seems like it's great. You could travel all over and bowl and do this stuff, but
By the way, there's
there's
two more splits.
There's definitely an art to being a traveler because it's sleeping in a different bed every couple of days, things like that.
Living out of a suitcase. Hey, there's a made split on our pair.
Doug Hamos shot 215 in game number 1. He's on lane 23.
Chris Acaro, I'd rather sleep in. That shot looked really good till it leaked right. Keeping the ball in front of you this week is
And that's been a big change to Frank's game. I mean, 5 years ago, Frank had no chance of bowling this event because he just liked to hook it. And you can see now he's learning to square things up a little bit and keep it in play, but he's bowled a lot of games.
Look at that. It
over the years.
sweeps the 5 out for a double.
Take and run.
Back to an even pace there. There's some balls I just see go through the pocket. Man, that guy should crush it. And then the next time he misses the head pin. The spray and pray method is no. That wouldn't have even struck.
No, he knew it. Yeah, misread just a little bit. And didn't we just say don't try hooking at any spares?
Yeah. Well, with double wood, the 2-8, your mentality is I've just got to hook it into this.
Hit the one in the front, and he did not.
Yes, the greatest tip of all time. We talked about it last night. Always hit the one closest to you. If you hit the one closest to you, I like your chances.
Kind of like putting. Yeah, 99% of the ones that come up short don't go in the hole.
Did you say 99%?
Yeah. The other 1%, the putter goes in the pond. And I've seen that. I've never done it, but I have seen that.
I watched a guy throw his bag in a pond and walk off the course. And so we played the hole, and here he came back. We're like, we knew he was coming back. He walked down into the water, pulled the bag up, opened the bag, pulled his car keys out, and left. Still left the clubs right in the water.
Oh, where's the cell phone video of that?
Oh, this. When I saw this, I was young, so I don't even think cell phones were invented yet.
Pre-cell phones.
The Motorola Pyramid, that thing that looked like a...
The big bag phone?
No, this was the Motorola. It had it like flipped open, you pulled the antenna out, but there was an extended battery pack that went on it, made the thing look like a pyramid, right? And those things, they weighed like 20 pounds. It was like a military radio that you see in the war movies where they hold the box. Yeah. Uh-oh. Whoop.
Question the oil pattern. We haven't actually seen the pattern, but we know it's long, it's thick, and it's a lot of oil. Not sure when they actually tell us what it is. It's almost irrelevant.
The Punisher? Oh, I just got a text from one of the owners. There's the front 9 on lanes 5 and 6.
What?
I can't even see that far.
No.
But look at all the people standing down behind there. If I heard that too, I'd have to run down there and find out what's going on. So didn't we say there'd be no 300s?
I still don't. Well, all right, so we can't see down there. So it's front 9.
We don't know who it is.
So over under 5 on the 10th shot.
I'll take over.
I'm going to go look.
It could be he just set the headphones down, guys. He's off because he wants to win a bet. But we will bring you who it was and what he did in the 10th frame, or what she did. No, Liz went to 1 and 2, so can't be Liz. So there's just a couple ladies bowling this morning. Tony Lambert left the 1-2-4-6. I'll give you the I'm trying to find out. I've got my people, as we joked yesterday, my people are trying to give me the information. Oh, so I asked if that was for 296, and he said no. So that's got to be maybe the first frame. So Tony Lambert, left-hander, past champion here. Leaves the 1-2-4-6. You know, there is something to be said when you've got a 5 or 6 or 7 in a row, or even the front 9, and missing the head pin. Looks like he made the spare. So my people fired in just as you walked away. Craig's coming back here to the mic. My people fired in that it was Tony Lambert, and he left the 1-2-4-6.
Yep, he got 6, so he just
and shot
he
275.
Barely got the over.
So he must have went 6, spare 9 for 275. But that at this point, ladies and gentlemen, is the high game by 30 pins.
We have game 1. Tony, 223. Wow,
So he's 100 over?
No, 98.
98. Sorry, I was carry the 1. I was rounding up there.
What did you shoot that game, Terry? 300. Well, it was really 212, but I rounded up.
Chad Roberts and I always joke about that. It's the bowlers always around. How would you have the last game? Like 190. And you go look at the score, it's 182.
Yeah, 190-ish.
I was close. All right, so we have a 150, a 222, 159, 180. A.J. Rice stepping up for, is that 44-70? He can shoot 04, but he's going to need a couple really good shots right here. Stu Williams down there with a 189. Yeah, look at that. That is about half speed of what he was throwing it last night, don't you think?
No doubt. Some of the B squad players coming in now to see what's happening, and they're just shaking their heads. Just go back to bed. Yeah, fixing the audio, that's why. So I had a few things to fix. It should be in stereo now. We got that taken care of, and got the ambient mic put back where it belongs. Somebody said to move it for us. That was very nice of the bowlers to do that. So audio's back. We're good to go. Game 3 coming up next. We got a little break here before we start that. Game 2 is done. Leader plus 98 we know is Tony Lambert. So hang with us. And we'll have Game 3 coming up here in just a quick minute. But the audio is fixed. So thank you, Robert, for pointing that out. And I got a chance to take it. So anybody out there, you know, it is helpful because we don't always see and hear what you're seeing and hearing on your end and what I can hear in the control room here. So if something is a little messed up, please let me know, and we'll fix it. Thank you. Back with Game 3 in a second. I'm ready if you're ready. Game 3 is right here. We got Jeff Fair. Who else we got?
Adrian Guzman
Colored
there.
Guy. Yeah. What do you guys see? These guys started on.
They were at the low end. And Jeff Fair.
So Robbie Grunfeld, Joseph Huff, Jeff Fair, Adrian Guzman.
So the only couple scores we know, Jeff Fair told me that he was the game 1 leader with 248. He shot 220, so he's about 70 over, and he's 20 out of the lead. Tony Lambert with the 275 game that we mentioned right before we went off the air is 90 over.
I feel safe saying Tony's leading after 2.
Yep, yeah, so do I.
And if we're wrong, well, it's not going to be the last time today.
Well, if he's not in the top 5, someone cheated. 4 people probably
If
cheated.
you're not cheating, you're not trying. No, wait, that's not how that saying goes.
Just ask the Astros. Ask anybody from the Astros. If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
The Astros are my second favorite baseball team after the Tigers. So here's 2 things for you. So we know that, okay, every team does that. Every single team steals signs since baseball started,
All right?
right?
You're always trying to figure out.
So, I mean, I've been a lifelong Tigers fan. So if we use that theory that everybody does that, how bad were the Tigers at stealing signs last year when they can lose 120 games?
I think the guy banging the trash can was banging the wrong amount there.
But, I mean, I don't know, the whole Astros thing, I don't know. They're definitely making an example out of them.
Okay, so if you have a runner at second base, the catcher and the pitcher change the signs. So that way they're going to throw 5 signals down, and one's the indicator and the next one is the pitcher throwing, right? Simple, right? And a guy standing out second base is trying to figure that out while he's trying not to get picked off. And, well, look at that. That's a burgundy hammer, ladies and gentlemen, for the front 3. So that's their goal, right? When I was in high school baseball, we were taught to do that, and you held out one hand if you thought it was going to be a fastball.
Right.
You held out both hands if you thought it was going to be a curve. And the batter tried to take a quick look at that, and then hopefully you guessed right. But when there's no one out on second base, how do you steal that signal, right? So if you're a Major League Baseball team and you figure out, we got cameras everywhere, we'll put one out there and we can bang on a trash can, you still have to hit it. They say the hardest thing in sports is hitting a Major League
Yeah,
pitch.
you still got to hit it.
So even if you know it's coming, that helps 20%, right? Because now you can sit on the curveball or you can sit on the fastball. But you still got to hit it. But it will be interesting to see how those players do now that they've been caught and they won't have someone banging on the trash can giving them
I think
what's
they'll
coming.
do just fine.
Yeah. But also, if you're a Major League Baseball team and you know you're going to go to a ballpark and they might be doing that, then when there's nobody on second base out there to steal that signal, then you're still going to use signals to, like you might, instead of just holding down one for a fastball, you might still go through 3 signals with an indicator and trying to keep hiding it.
Well, just every stadium you go to is good. Well, how about when you went to Indians games, you had to be ready for that guy banging the drum in center field,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Well,
I mean, that's home field advantage. He's there to distract you.
Well, what happens if he was actually banging
Maybe he was.
signals?
How do we know he wasn't, right? It's very possible.
We thought that was just a cool Indian thing to do, and here he was letting the hitters know. Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. For whatever reason, they're making an example of the Astros.
Right. So here's
But okay, so here you go. And we won't sit on baseball. Was it against the rules? Is there somewhere in the rules that say you cannot do that? Right? Is that I don't think anybody's ever mentioned that. So, has
That's
the
a good
commissioner of
question.
Major League Baseball come out and said you violated Rule 17.2.1?
no cheating in baseball.
It says no use on electronic devices to do. So, did they break an actual rule on the rule books? If the answer is no, then what's the issue?
Why did they get banned, and why did they? Yeah.
Yeah. So, but and it's going to happen in sports, right? I mean, in 1900, we didn't have video. Well,
Right.
look how it's changed. I was watching the tennis match the other day, and they used the replay on tennis, and literally the ball was out by, like an eighth of an inch.
Right.
But with the replay system, you see that.
Right.
Well, every other time that ball would have been called in.
Well, how many times did McEnroe know it was out, and they couldn't replay it, and he
Right.
got mad because he knew, and
Right.
everyone else missed it.
So technology changed in every sport we play.
Yeah.
No question. That's all there is to it. Well, golf, right? I mean, look at how many golf.
Oh.
Look how many guys have been.
Craig Stadler put a towel down and got called for a penalty.
Well, because
the
someone
viewers
else saw it on TV. Yeah. So I mean, look how it changes that.
Yeah.
You know, Jeff Maggard at the Masters when he's coming out of the bunker and the ball hit him. You know, the ball hit him in the chest on the way down.
Yep.
He didn't know it. You don't feel it. I mean, you got dirt flying everywhere, sand flying. You know, and he's trying to get out of there, and the ball just brushed his jacket. You know, the ball still fell back in the bunker, but it touched him, right?
Right.
So I mean, so he paid a double penalty essentially.
Right, and he's not trying to cheat because he
No.
didn't realize it.
No.
But someone calls it in. Next thing you know, you got a 2-shot penalty. Adrian Guzman there with a shot through the nose. Matt Sanders standing in front of us here on the other pair.
What was? Breaking news.
So after 2 games, Gene Perez just walks by and says, "I owe you lunch."
Well, he shot 200 game one. That means he's got to average, 237 the rest of the way?
Yeah.
7 pin, 8 pin, 8 pin, 7.
So he says he starts off the 3rd game with 7 pin, 7 pin, 8 pin, 7 pin, and comes down and surrenders.
Well, and Gene can't hear us, but I will clue him in here. And Gene's not from here. There's no one in this building that feels sorry for him at that point.
If he's made all those spares, he's actually ahead of 20 people.
Right. Yeah. So you're still getting 9. Yeah, it's okay, Gene. And for the way you bowled yesterday, nobody's going to feel sorry for you. We have a second pair to look at here. We'll bring that in here for a second. And we moved. So there we go.
There we go.
Did you just mess up my sheets? Matt Sanders, David Moore, Greg Persley, Kenny Lape, and Giancarlo Morelli. 25 and 6.
He comes by and says that's a tough spare on this pattern. I think they're all tough on this pattern. See if Mr. Sanders can get a little motion. Oh, look at that. He starts off with the first 2. Oh, I see a 4-bagger to our right. Over on 29 and 30. And I also see somebody with 3 opens in a row. Three lefties on this pair, and he missed the headpin.
So you're Fort Wayne. What's your baseball team? Is it Indians?
No, I was a Reds. I'm a big
Reds?
Red.
Okay.
Yep. Johnny Bench fan. Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. And
No doubt.
When I grew up in the early 70s and played Little League Baseball, the Indians couldn't win a game and the Reds won everything. So,
Did you guys just sign Castellanos?
yes.
Yeah, you'll like that kid.
You know,
Oh, great ball player.
I tell you, you know how many times the Reds have looked great on paper to start the season? What I want to know is the last about 4 or 5 years ago, we're going to win the Central. Joey Votto got the big contract. We're going to run away with it. Our pitching staff is top 5. Our starting 5 are going to be the top 5 in baseball, right? By June 1st, only one of the starting 5 pitchers was still pitching. We had 4 guys called up from Louisville, and out of the 8 position players, only 4 from opening day were still on the field. So there's a lot of the injury bug, keeping them healthy. So looking on paper, it looks like the Reds made some really good moves to be a strong team in the Central this year. And if you can win the Central, if you can win the NL Central between the Brewers, the Cardinals, and the Cubs,
Yeah, you're in good shape.
right? Yeah. You've got a good chance. And the funny thing is, some of those teams you can never get the wild card because they're beating up on each other. They play, you play your division so much, you can't get a wild card team. Let's go back over to the other pair. Jeff Fair's about to get up on the left lane. I want to show everybody. We've all seen Jeff Fair standing against the ball return before, right? Because
But not on the left lane.
not on the left lane. That's right. And He went and got a brand new sanded ball to start this game. He went 240, 220, so 70 over. He's in good shape to make the top 50 this round. But he changed balls. He probably went back to the ball he had the success with, and that's slow rolling off the corner and leaves a 2-pin. Most people don't get in their life and think the ball returns in their way on the left lane.
Not usually.
Some left-handers can, but not many right-handers. Ted Hannes, with his approach, he would be able to get around that. He'd almost look straight, trying to play where Jeff's at.
Like bowlers on 25 and 26, we're all standing in the same place up here in the concourse, and it was in a puddle. So they're all changing the shoe pads right now. They're sticking.
Somebody stepping something?
Maybe they just there's a little oil on the approach. A little splash.
From the splash, yeah.
I think they all stepped in something on the carpet here. And
well, my coffee's empty, and I haven't spilled anything. So
with me, I keep a lid on it.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good here.
Oh, that's pretty direct.
Burgundy Hammer tripping the 4.
But is it an old G Burgundy Hammer? Or
No, he said the new Burgundy Hammer.
Yeah. Remember the original Burgundies, when you tried to drill them, they just kind of chipped away on you. But there's a little bit different surface that they had on those.
I used to go to Maysville Lanes. The center's now closed. Allie Clark used to have it, and there was pot games, and Ted Hannes and myself and some of the Michael Clark, Allie's son, Lewis. Those guys, we'd pot bowl till 2 in the morning after the Thursday night league, and my Burgundy Hammer rolled so good in that building. I could literally just take that ball in there. And there was Leonard Chapelier, local guy there, one of those guys that just threw it good all the time. He looked like he had the green Rhino Pro. That ball looked like it lost a hatchet fight in the track, that he had bowled so much with it. But, man, he could just stand there and strike all night long. But that was, man, the good old days when pot bowled till 2 in the morning and it was $10 a man and bowled doubles.
Yeah, high, low on the 5th.
We, at the end of the night, we'd always, there'd be 5 or 6 of us left, and there was always something fun. So we'd all throw in 10 or $20, and the one night now, it was a 26-lane house or 24-lane house, and you had to, if you struck, you moved right. If you spared, you stayed on that lane, and if you opened, you moved left. So
like left, right, center, basically.
Yeah. So you started on lane 1, and the first guy to strike on the other end of the house won, and it's amazing how much fun that is. One night we had start on frame 1's lane 1, frame 2's lane 2, and you just move through. And that was one of my favorite 300 games of all time. I had the front 9. When I threw the 9th, when I locked it up, and Allie Clark wouldn't let me get the money until I threw. I had to bowl the whole game because he didn't think I could. He goes, "You can't strike out and shoot 300. You don't get the money until you do that." And it's looking back, that's one of my favorite 300s of all time. All right, so scores were just handed to us here. So after 2 games, of course, Tony Lambert with the 98 over as your leader. Jeff Fares in second. Steve Novak went 240, 220 for 467. Kevin Williams, 196. He started there on the TV pair, shoots 261 to get to 57 over. Caleb Miller's your top 5 with 240, 20 for 455. Let's get down here. 16th place, Michael Holloman is 414. And 19th place, Brent Boho is
lefty.
Yeah, so 19 people are plus after 2 games. And let's go see that magic number of 50th place. Bradley Painter, 300 last night, right?
No. Did Bradley shoot one too?
Yeah, didn't he? Was just off the TV pair. Anyway, he went 177, 179, 356 after 2. So minus 44 is making the cut at this point. I always do that when the U.S. Open, when the U.S. Open was an open field and guys they'd bowl in Jersey at Carolier. They'd have 400 entries in the U.S. Open, right? And so we'd get on the internet and we'd look, and I'm talking to my buddy back home, and we'd like, okay, who's this? Where's EJ at? Where's Ronnie at? You know, all the local guys. You're trying to figure out where they're at in the field. And then, of course, you have to scroll to the bottom of the leaderboard, and how many guys are averaging 150 at the U.S. Open?
A lot.
Yeah. And
all right, so here's one for today. Will there be a 2-digit score? Will there be a sub 100 game at some point today?
I would not take the bet. I would. Just looking at the scores at the bottom of this, there were looks like 3 people that were really close to making your bet there. So I'm going to go with yes. There's a good possibility that's going to happen. Let's see here. Some of the big. Justin Knowles is in 7th place at 44 over. Jacob Yazell just moved here to Louisville. He's 424. Stu Williams is in 17th with 221.89, 409. Matt Sanders, who are on our TV, one of our TV pairs here, he's 396. Ron Hicklin shoots 160, 230 to get to 393. Zach Doty, we talked about, he's at 392. Jim Pratt, 383 with the 169, 214. Frank Snodgrass with that 180 is at 381. Tracy Lamberth, past champion, is at 380. Gene Perez, 200, 179 for 379. Hence the reason he's buying me lunch now. And he hasn't even started.
All right, where's Liz after 2?
Osku is at 377. Liz Johnson, 187, 188 for 375. Nolan White was on our TV pair, 371 after 2. AJ Rice, 165, 203. Ronnie Sparks, the singles champion, 169, 198 for 367. Brett Shepard, local boy here, is 362 after 2 and in 48th place. Christine Johnson went 199, 147. Wonder if that accident is starting to kick in.
Yeah, usually, I mean, unfortunately, we've all been in fender benders, and it's day 2 is when you really feel it.
Yeah.
You know, well, you might feel fine the first day and you get up and move around, but when you sleep and day 2 is when it starts to hurt. So we'll see. It's just off to our right.
That'd be our left, isn't it?
Maybe. But if I was looking at the front counter, I was turning around backwards. Shut up, Terry.
That'd be our other.
I still have the mute button. Here's Bradley Painter coming up to my left. 23 and 24 on the same pair as Greg Young.
There's another split. This pair seems to be doing better. There's only 4 splits on 27 and 28 so far.
There will be 2 more before the game is over.
Oh, no, look at that. He got the 10 to fall, so it's just a 2-pin.
Hey guys, the big thing is you gotta trust it to sit down a tad bit, you know. I'm too young, I'm going to keep it tight and I keep tugging it. You know, I'm scared to give it a little room, you know.
Yeah, there's no giving it room.
Yeah,
No giving it room.
You can't give it any room, yeah. Your mental game is what it is, you know.
So what do we have? Well, I had Liz Johnson beating Gene Perez. We both agree that it will be a sub 100 game, and I think there'll still be 2 more splits on 27 and 8 before the game's over.
Coming out for the, you guys work.
Bowl well. You think there'll be 2 more splits in the next 2 frames between
do.
5 guys?
Yeah.
And this bet is you're pulling your Vegas. You're playing the odds here. It's hard to split when you miss the head pin.
Usually it is.
See, I figured something would have hit the 3 out of that, and you would have called that a split.
Well, he just headhunting now.
Brooklyn on lane 29 in your camera there. And he walked off and took it.
You can't give him back.
It's never been about how. It's always been about how many. You have to recognize that every once in a while you throw a bad and get a good break. And we were talking about those bowling gods, right?
Yep.
Every once in a while they let you have one. All right, so at 25 under a game, 125 under will make the top 50. That's the pace we're on right here, right? Just on the far right of your screen, there's Mr. Holloman throwing on lane 29 for a strike.
He's got 270s possible.
Yeah, it's a 3-bagger spare 4-bagger, or for Rob Stone, a ham bone. And we're not going to get to use the word ham bone too much.
No.
Oh,
Probably not.
couldn't get the 5 out.
Well, that could be counted as a split.
It'll be hard for him to chop it, that's for sure. So Jeff Fair hanging on the ball return here for his last shot on the left lane. He's in second place and said he didn't play any action.
Smart man. You just never know.
So Mr. Fair standing beside me here in the booth, and we were commenting on, I mentioned that when's the last time you saw Jeff against the ball return on the left lane? He just laughed. Said his ball change didn't work out like he thought, but he went back to the other ball. He still has a great reaction, and after 3 games here, I think he can bowl one of your under 100 games and still make the cut at this point.
I wouldn't suggest it, though.
No. But if you're not in action, 98 won't hurt him. Adrian chopping the 7 off the 4-pin there. Well, there's one you wouldn't bet against. Take the 7 off of that one.
No, you wouldn't expect the ball's going to go that far left.
All right, so we're not going to end up with your 2 splits like you predicted
It's
on that
possible.
pair.
He could spare this and split on the fill. Don't give up hope.
Yep.
Never say never.
You know, the blind bowler didn't do too bad. The blind bowler was pretty consistent there.
1.
Kept trying to play the gutter a bit too much, you think?
Hey, he committed to the line and stuck there for, for an entire game.
You know what? Consistency is, you need consistency in the game.
Steve Mackey, you know Steve Mackey.
Yeah.
He set me up on a call one of my first times in New Mexico at the New Mexico Open. And that's always known as a pretty tough condition as well. So we have a player who you're playing 10. And he dumps the ball in the gutter twice before the air's back-to-back shots.
Is his leg okay?
0 for the frame. No, it didn't his leg. So Steve says to me, puts me on the spot, what do you think about that? I said, well, he's good at repeating shots.
Yep.
I mean, what? Thanks, Steve. Yeah, I got nothing. I come to find out he was an employee of the bowling center, and they had a lot of fun with that for a couple of years with that audio clip.
Well,
yeah, he's just firing at the head pin. Bold strategy, but I don't know if that's quite the one you want to go for.
Well, the unfortunate thing is 157 takes you 25 pins off the pace.
Right.
So now he's got to shoot a 200 to make up for that. And with that strategy, He's going down to 1 and 2, going down to the low end, might where some scores
Well,
are. He might, you know,
scores have been down there, but we
he could
shall
go
see.
he could go down there and hit the front 9 and jump into the top 20. And then again, he can go down and shoot another 150 game and start thinking about the re-entry squad. So Osku's over there with 186 in the 8th with a shooting a spare.
Off the left, Christine Johnson just went dead flush in a 3-6 pocket and carried. Off her hand, she's like, "Oh, I'm in trouble," and the head pin got slapped forward. Should be in the 190s.
Always about how many. She can shoot 2-0 if she throws this one good and carries.
Yeah.
Or catches another break like that. Jeff Fair with the swish and 7. Putting it in cruise control now.
Also, I'm still on a good pace for picking the Super Bowl winner tomorrow because I haven't really got anything right yet in the last 2 days. So, again, I did pick the Niners.
Dude, pick the Niners, so I need to go get the deed to my house and take Kansas City. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Just rob a bank and say I'll bring the money back tomorrow. Trust me, it's safe.
I was
just borrowing.
So in my travels this week, I got to go to Fort Knox, and it's amazing to me that the depository sits out in the middle of this field, nothing around it, just a couple rows of fencing between you and a building full of 1/3 of America's gold.
I remember driving by. Did you actually go in? Did you go in there?
Yes, yeah. There's a bowling center on post, so
Really?
I
Nice.
go in to call on the Houston Bowling Center. Do a great job there for the troops, and thank you for everyone in the service and your for what you do for us to be able to sit here and spray our opinions all over the place. But yeah, so I'm standing there. I took a picture of it, and you have to go in the visitor center and show your ID and get a pass to go on base. And I was that close to that much gold.
Yeah.
And I said, I can't believe someone in Kentucky hasn't had that one extra shot of bourbon and said, I'm just going to drive up there and get me a bar of gold.
Maybe they have, but you'd never heard about them again.
Yeah. Well, the girl at the bowling center, Pamela, she said, well, we all know there's landmines there. I go, do you really know? And she goes, well, I don't want to be the one to find out.
Right. Exactly.
But yeah, it's a neat location. You can go there. The Patton Museum's there on post. Anyone can get on. As long as you don't have a felony, you can get on. But you just go in the visitor center, show them your ID. They give you a pass. You go right in, and a lot of history there at Fort Knox.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I remember driving by it again. Like you said, it's out in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
Yeah, I never went in to check it out. Maybe one of these trips we'll have to do that. Michael Heilman shot 257 that game.
And he was in 16th place with 14 over, so he's going to make he'll be able to put it in
Top
cruise
5,
control.
probably.
Yep. Put it in cruise control here. Jeff Fair with a 180 game gets down to 460. Still in pretty good shape. If 120 under is going to make it, and you're 60 over with 2 to go, I like your chances.
And if you don't make it, I don't know if I want to be in your vicinity.
Nope.
After that, I mean,
this might be the last
epic fry out if that was to
This
happen.
might be the last time you ever see that person bowl. Mr. Sanders with a 3-bagger and clean. Okay, good call.
Half of them. So yeah, they're halfway through game 3 here. This group, the rest of the camera pairs are done. Looks like the high end is getting done quicker than everybody else, but that's the way it goes. Christine Johnson finished 194. Nice game.
Yeah, there's just some pairs with 5 on it, like our other TV
Oh, yeah,
line here.
there's some 4s and 5s. Yep, that's what it is. Nice, astute observation.
So once again, now here's how does Matt Sanders shoot? Does he try to hook the ball across the one pin, or do you fire it straight at the one?
Straight, try to kick the one in the 4-7.
Yeah. Miss left and hit them all and hope something hits the 9.
You got to get that deadwood.
Like that?
I mean the double wood, yeah. And I wouldn't expect you would pick that. So again, in the Petraglia scoring system, he's looking at a potential 4. And that's not good.
Well, if he takes the 7 off like the other player did earlier.
Right.
You start. Once again, I wish that was possible to do in a lane machine.
How did they do it? It's
There's
been
probably
done
got to
on
be
TV.
someone. There's probably got to be someone sitting there resetting the machine back into.
So when they had the TV show, was that just a made-for-TV event, or did they actually qualify doing that? How did that?
Oh, I don't know.
Wasn't it Carolyn Doran Ballard won the tournament?
Yeah. And I don't know how they did it.
Yeah.
That's.
So for those of you who don't know what the heck we're talking about, the Petraglia scoring system is something they used. I think they did it twice on tour, and it's all you counted was the number of shots it took you to knock down all 10 pins.
Right.
So if you got a strike,
You got
it was
one.
One. You know, 9 spares, 2. But if you could
You left
potentially have a 3 or 4 or 5. I mean, you big
Right.
4, you might have a 3 or 4 or whatever it might be.
Every time you threw the ball, that was a mark,
Yeah.
right? So
So obviously a perfect game would be what,
10?
10, right?
or 12, if you had,
I don't know.
depend-
Did they do 11th? 12th?
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
If,
It's
yeah,
been a while.
a perfect score would
probably been
technically
20
be 10.
years ago. Yeah, I think 10 would be a perfect score. But it was interesting at the time, and something you can kind of play with at home. Another one I think would be fun is do an actual low ball tournament.
Yeah, when I bowled in college, that was our tryouts. We'd go and we bowled at AMF Sawmill Lanes, and we always called it Wall Mill because they were so easy. And left side was wide open, so the lefties always would make the team because their high game was their high game, and they crushed everybody. Because we'd always go in for college to get free bowling. We always had to go in after the leagues at 9 o'clock and do our tryouts. But Al Sowers, our coach, made us low game. And so if you could take the 7-pin and the 10-pin off, you got 2, and
Yep.
boy, that would really help your score.
But so the way that works again for listeners is you have to get at least 1 pin every shot. If you didn't, like if you threw the first ball in the gutter, it's a
It's 10.
strike.
Yep.
Yeah, it's 10, and you don't want pins. And it's not as easy as it sounds.
We have a tournament in Fort Wayne where we play 10 games of low ball with 4 guys on the team, right? So I throw the first frame, he throws the second, right? It's kind of Baker oriented. And so your first, possible score is 20, right? 1 off each side, right? And then you go play 18 holes of golf in a scramble. Scramble is what they call it. And so you get 10 games of bowling, and they rank it by the lowest score gets 1 point, and then highest score, if there's 40 teams, 40th place would be 40 points. And then you go play golf, and of course the low golf team gets 1, and the high golf team gets 40, right? So on. So we go, and me and 3 pretty good bowlers there in Fort Wayne, we decide to go, and we averaged 69. That was our team score. We averaged 69,
bad.
right? And we end up winning the bowling side of it with 69. We go out and play golf, and we come in at about 6 or 7 under, and we thought, that's pretty good, right? And we got a good chance to win this. And these 4 golfers played in like 18 or 19 under. They just crushed us golf-wise. And so they end up winning because they finished like 3rd or 4th, and then we ended up finishing 7th or 8th in the thing. So we get these gift certificates to the golf shop. It's our prize. So we're standing there, and these 4 guys are standing there at the counter, and they're buying a shirt and a hat and stuff. They're using their gift certificate. And the one guy says, how in the heck did anybody average 69 in bowling? And I said, how in the heck did you guys bowl? How in the hell did you guys play 20 under in golf without cheating either?
Yep.
4 good golfers and bad bowlers, or 4 good bowlers and bad golfers? Let's get a chance for a 2-0 game here with a couple good shots from the lefty here on lane 25.
Oh, Kerry. I think it was 1990, I believe. The Houston Open in the Woodlands, Texas, was rained out PGA event. So they ended up on Sunday playing a 3-man scramble. Tour players, 3-man scramble. Hang on a second. So 3 PGA players, 18 holes. What do you think the winning score was?
58.
Yeah, I mean three teams tied at 22 under. So you birdied every hole and eagled every par 5. But shows you how good they are. I mean, one guy would, okay, let's put him in the fairway, and then the other 2 guys would just bomb it over the corners.
Yeah. Yep.
And
So
the most amazing golf shot I've ever seen, and I watched a lot of professional golf. I got to live on the course down there, and I've been to some other tour events. So John Mahaffey, remember John?
Yeah.
Old guy from Texas,
Yeah.
probably in his 50s at this time. He's playing. He's on this big par 5. It's the 15th hole, right after just after the island green in the Woodlands, which was 13. Anyway, big long par 5. Mahaffey's in the fairway bunker. He's like 230 out. These two big studs, golfer U of H. I mean, they're hitting wedges in this par 5. So there's Mahaffey, and the whole groups are walking down. He lights a cigarette, walks over to the bunker. He's leaning on his 3-wood or 5-wood, whatever it was, just watching these two big guys bigger than me, walking down through their balls. And he finally whistles, "Hey, come on back here, boys." And everybody's looking, it's like, why? We're not playing that shot. Yeah, we'll play this one. We'll play this one right here. Two guys duff it out, and he's just shaking it. I mean, he's playing to the crowd. Shaking his head, flicks his cigarette away, takes a little waggle, sticks it 6 inches from the cup.
That's why we're playing this one,
He'd
boys.
hit that shot how many times? He knew it, and
Yeah.
we're playing this one. Just ridiculous.
So there's for the Indiana High School, the Indiana Bowling Proprietors put together a tournament in the summer right after the Classic Trade Show. Classic, the proud sponsors of last night's doubles tournament. And so I get E.J. Tackett and Ronnie Russell to play on our team.
Not bad.
And now, before I tell you the score of what we shot for 18 holes in a scramble, let it be known that each player gets a string on each side of each 9. So you can advance the ball the 1.5 foot of string, and it doesn't count as a stroke. We also get a toss on each side, right? Toss, right? And that advances the ball. So if you can stand on the green and toss the ball in the hole, you've just moved the ball into the hole, right? Mike Albee is a celebrity putter, and on 18 he will putt, and his putt doesn't count towards your score. So if he can putt it in the hole, that's advancing the ball, right?
Wow.
And then just once a day, you get to hit from a ladies' tee called the Power Up, right? So Ronnie and EJ, and they play from the whites, so they moved this up. So I think we're playing about 5,800 yards, and these guys can hit 2 drives 5,800 yards, right? Because they're great players. So we play, and we shoot 42 with the string, and I still have the picture of the scorecard. It's amazing how all of those, like,
How do you remember all those things? That's
Ronnie
that's
drives
the hard
the
part.
Ronnie drives the 18th green. Mike Albee putts it in, so we
a
get a
1.
1 on a par 4. And then, or no, I'm sorry, Ivan played with us. Ivan drives the 18th green. He putts it in. We go to the first hole, and Ronnie goes, "I think I can hit the green from here. Like, just go up there to the red tees and do it." Right? He blasts it right on the front of the green. We use a toss to roll it in inside the string. We use a piece of string. We go 1-1 on the 2 par 4s.
Nice start.
And then we hit one to about 1.5 feet on the par 3. And Ronnie said, "We use the string, we'll take a 1. We'll have 3 1s in a row." I go, No. Next hole's a par 5. We'll use the string and a toss to get a 2 on a par 5. That's how you shoot 42. You take the 2 on the par 3, you take the 2 on the par 5.
Right. Yeah, that'd be a lot of strategy and a solid head pin on 28.
28, yep.
Yeah, that'd be fun to play that, but it'd be hard to keep track of all the rules. And
Oh, yeah. Well, the first year we played, we lost by 3 strokes with 45. And we're like, hey, someone's cheating. We
no,
just
they know
fought 45.
they know how to work the rules.
Right, yep.
Yeah. So I'm Brent Boho is a right-hander. I was thinking lefty. My apologies to Brent. Two-handed righty. He's coming to our camera pair. Matt Sanders just finishing up. So here's Brent and
with a
his
201. We have everything on that pair from 125 to 201.
And we could have had that 2-digit game there. Striking the 8th saved that game significantly. So what are we? We're in game 4.
Yeah, that just finishes up game 3. So Brett Shepard is.
So Devin Gunderson, Mike Clark, Brant Boho, Brett Shepard.
By the way, we have 4 splits on 27 and 28 as we click over to them bowling their 4th frame.
And we got Ron Hickel and Tony Lambert, our potential leader, coming to 25 and 6.
But you have a chance to get your over on the splits on this game. Brett Shepard playing the Jeff Fairline.
But a lot quicker. More ball speed, which may but not be a good thing right now.
It's funny. Everyone's ball looks shiny now. It can't be all the oil that they've soaked up. in 3 games, can it?
Well, and there's your experience. So maybe Jeff Fair brought 6 balls, and they were all at 360. It doesn't matter what ball he's just going. Each game he's just going to fresh surface.
That's not going to help your score.
9 splits get you every time.
You know, it's, you know, you get to a pair, you've got a couple spares, couple opens, and if you're not seeing the scores, right, you think, oh my God, I bowled 2 180 games, I'm just getting crushed here, right? Because 2 180 games in a tournament where everyone's averaging 230,
Yeah,
you're 100
you're
pins
done.
out, right? And you got 3 games to bowl, it's like, I got to shoot 800, and this is the reaction I got. When you don't even realize that you're inside the number with 2 180 games, and you just need to grab a double on this pair and a couple more spares and shoot another 180 and move on.
Well, that's what the mental side of this tournament does to you. Is you
Right.
got to realize, look, I shoot 190, I'm making them ground on the field.
Right. I just passed
But
people.
again, yeah, you just don't. That's just not. It's just not natural to think that, unfortunately.
I've been to tournaments, the guy comes out and he drops the score sheet, and guys look down and go, oh my God, there's 20 guys plus, and they're only paying 8 guys, right? Gosh, the score's going to be high today. And then everyone moves to a pair, and the scores drop, and then the transition happens, and the scores drop again, and the guy gave up after the first game because he was 180, and there's 20 guys plus, and he doesn't realize his next 2 220s, even though 220s were par, but he just went flying by half the field, and he gives up and doesn't bowl good the 4th game. Those are guys I always loved in the field. The guys that would give up after game 1 with 5 games to go. It's just one less guy you have to beat. And he might have the best looking ability for games 3, 4, and 5. Nah, you can't get disappointed. 9. He throws a good shot, leaves a ring 7, and looks disappointed. It's kind of hard to do that.
Oh, Gene's back.
If you bowl 260 this game, even. Okay. What do you got going down there?
Double.
All right, folks.
Tell
So
us, sorry.
Gene's trying to get his lunch bet back. So he comes down. He says, "If I shoot 260 this game, can we call it even?" And I said, "Well, sure. I like my chances. I've only seen 2 games over that number all day." And I said, "So what are you suckering me into?" He's like, I got a double and a spare, or spare double.
I like your chances.
So his vision of 290, or 1 more spare and a bunch
Well,
of
it's the
strikes.
same guy that I was going to average almost 230 during practice.
So as soon as this one goes through the face, should I walk down there and ask him if he just wants to?
Just give him your Uber Eats order, and they can catch you on the road as you're driving home, and just meet somewhere on the road with that delivery.
Here's my home address. Have a pizza delivered tomorrow night for the Super Bowl. Which, by the way, do you know tomorrow night is the biggest pizza night in the country? They sell more pizzas tomorrow night than at any other time in the year, including New Year's
Thanksgiving
Eve.
is
Thanksgiving.
number 2, I think, right?
Yep.
I remember hearing that stat, which was ridiculous.
My staple for any Super Bowl party is a crock pot, a block of Velveeta cheese, and a can of Hormel chili without beans, and a bag of Tostitos or nacho chips of some sort. Turn the crock pot on high, cut up the block of Velveeta so it melts a little faster, stir in the Hormel, and
Call it good.
And you have heart attack in a bowl waiting for your friends to bring you beer over to watch the big game.
I would guess the live scoring link is going to be on the Bradley Open Facebook page. That's my best guess. I don't know that we haven't talked about that. They haven't mentioned it, but I would believe the scores are probably posted there if somebody's looking for them online. I would start there.
Let me fire off to my people. Oops. See if I can get my people on that, see where that's at and where it might be.
I'm pretty safe with that assumption.
Brett Shepard rolls one. Oh, there's another one. So we got 1, 2. That'll be the 6th split through 5 people. I don't know about you, but maybe there should be some conversation with the finals being on 27 and 28 tomorrow.
Would make it interesting. But then I have to move on my camera, so no.
No, 27 28. Your cameras are right here.
Then we've got the other matches. So we've got a plan. Don't mess up our plan.
I'm not messing with the plane. I'm just saying it would be fun to watch the finals on that.
It would be.
That pair.
All right, we got Terry to go look for his people, checking out some stuff, and the seat opened up, and here is our tournament director, Jason Uswell. Welcome, Jason. Good morning, and how about them scores today?
So far. You know, some people have a look, some people don't. Shape's a little less than last year. Not as straight as I'd like, but we're getting there. You know, dealing with the new covers, new surfaces of bowling balls, along with the aggressive cover of the lanes, makes tighten this shot up a little bit tougher than it used to be.
The scores are still lower than last year.
Yeah, they are. They're definitely lower than last year. Like I said, there's some people that have got a good look, you know, and they're making it look easier than what it is. You know, but there's a lot of great players in this field, and some of them are struggling significantly. Not a bad start to the day, though.
So entry-wise, you're a decent number of players. A couple added, a couple dropped. Right, we've talked about that. And I did post a link there. If you go down to the description underneath the viewing window there on YouTube, you can click on that link. It'll take you to the Bradley Open Facebook page for the score updates. But number-wise, how are you feeling? Turnout?
It's a little down from last year. You know, unfortunately.
Was it 192 last year?
Yeah, low to mid 190s. So we had a couple of obstacles this year. You know, with the new PBA schedule, Jonesboro happened to be on the same weekend, which was not a conflict last year. There was no PBA tour stop on Super Bowl weekend. You know, this year we've unfortunately ran into a couple of them. Not only the Jonesboro stop, but also the PBA 50 over, 50 under.
Gotcha.
Got to take this.
All right. Work never stops. Brent Boho, there you go. As the splits still pile up over on 27 and 28.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, work never stops. That's all right. So you've got your job here on the tournament, and then your normal job.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it was another
you just
person.
need 28-hour days, and you'll be able to get most of it done.
Yeah, I said that this week at work. I said, normally you're looking for days to shorten up. This week I could have done with 48-hour days to get in everything that I need to do. The call right there was for another person signing up for B Squad, so I'm not going to turn that away.
Perfect.
But yeah, like we were saying, number-wise, it's down a little bit, not a lot. We've, running this tournament now for the last 8 years, we've never been down until this year. And more than likely it's going to be. And that happens with different tournaments across the world. So, we understand that there's some ups and downs and different obstacles. Ours was, I think, a little bit more tournament affiliated. I was actually just talking with my daughter, and it's probably an easy 30 people that I could pick that had bowled last year that are out for sickness or some other type of health issue, or a lot of them are tournament related. Like I said, there's, you take Kyle Troop and Tommy Jones, who were here bowling last year, and they're both bowling on the show today for Jonesboro.
Yep.
There's a lot of people that are bowling the PBA 50 over, 50 under in Northern Ohio. Anyone from Walter Ray to Nate Garcia to Kyle Mayberry to Kyle Cook. A lot of these guys always bowl. It's definitely something we'll visit again for next year. This event's ran anywhere from the first weekend of January, all the way to this first weekend of February for Super Bowl weekend. It's just looking at the schedule, navigating the best we can, and maximizing the potential for people to turn out. We've always been about putting out tough conditions, and more so making an event accessible for everybody to bowl in. We want to up-promote bowling as much as we can. We don't want to be an event that tries to run over the top of some people. And, I think if we look at that as an industry, and a lot of other tournament directors can work hand in hand, we'd have an ability to increase participation overall for bowling instead of running over the top of each other. So, we'll look at that for next year. We'll try to limit conflicts as much as we can, and again, try to increase the size of the field.
Well, you're still talking, in the 180 range. There's nothing wrong with that. There's very few tournaments that do that for a weekend tournament. So I don't think I'd be too. But as you mentioned, it's growing it every year by year by year. You're used to it going up. But
yeah.
At some point, you're going to level off, and maybe this is that year where
Yeah,
But
definitely.
still, format-wise, heck, you've got, what's the number on this squad? 77, 50 guys make it to the advances round.
Right.
So you don't have to beat, a third of the field.
No.
For the next round. So, that's not an issue.
Yeah, my expectation at this point is to make it to about, 160, 170 would be a great number for the weekend. For the Bradley itself, the doubles went well last night. We were right at 80 teams, and I think that was a good show. And then the singles during the day wasn't too bad either. So,
Tony Lambert, big shocker, leader. He's won this tournament, like every other year since it started? 766. Daniel Farish jumping up there, 6 plus 74. Holloman, Fair, Kevin Williams, Yazell, Caleb Miller, Justin Knowles, Nick Rummel, Steve Novak. So is Tony left-handed?
Tony is a two-handed lefty.
Holloman left-handed, Williams left-handed, Knowles left-handed. So there's 4 two-handed lefties. And Justin Knowles, am I correct saying he's made the finals 3 years in a row?
Who? Justin Knowles?
Yeah.
No. Justin made the finals last year.
Oh, okay. He won it and then didn't make the
and
finals.
then
He lost to West last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he won in 2017.
Yep.
Then EJ, yeah, and then he lost to West last year.
But 50 will be our cut line for today. So currently that is Harry Cross at minus 64.
And it stayed right about that number every game.
Yeah.
It hasn't
Yeah,
really
like I said,
changed,
it's definitely tough out there. Anyone that's viewing and watching right now and seeing some of these guys shoot some high scores, I think Terry just said there's 16 bowlers in the plus out of almost 80. So, and there's a lot of great players out there. All of these guys are tough that are considerably sub 200.
So here's an example. I mean, Ron Hicklin's a pretty good player. Doesn't bowl as much. He's working a lot with his company, but he's at 523, and the number right now is 536. There's only a mark off.
Yeah.
But he needs a couple 190 games, even a little 2-0s to sneak up there and gain some pins back.
Yeah, and Ron's a really good bowler in his own right. I mean, we're appreciative of him jumping on board this year with creating the difference, how he's branding CTD and the things that he's doing. I think have been really great. So partnering up with him for this season and for next season is great for us. Hopefully it's beneficial to him as well, being here with a lot of these guys. And, anyone out there that has not tried his products should definitely get on the Creating the Difference webpage and check that out.
I'll give you this one. I'll even give it a run. You just need to make a licensed Bradley Open True Cut pad. What, 80 grit?
Yeah.
Just make it
Roof
licensed for Bradley
shingle.
Open.
We'll make it a CTD Bradley Open
Asphalt.
roof shingle.
What surface is that? Asphalt shingle. I like it.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of new faces this year as well. I always like that. I love all the bowlers that come back, and we've got a lot of loyal followers through the event. Some of the feedback that we've heard sometimes is the expense to get in at $350. Some people have said it was high, but we supply a lot of opportunities to get into this event for a discounted rate. We encourage centers nationwide to run in-house qualifiers or win spots. We have probably close to 25 guys or ladies in the field this year that have won their spot into this event for $60, $70 or less.
That's the way to do it.
And it is. It is. I mean, it's a great way for them. They can come out. The investment is a little bit lower. The money still comes in. Everybody's still being paid. They have an opportunity to bowl something tough. And, price fund wise, we've tried to do that right. You're $12,000 on top, $600 loaded cash on the bottom. And the aspiration is to continue to improve that for the bowlers. So,
and I'll give people a story that are watching. If they think, well, I can't just win a spot and get in and win the tournament. Graham Fye, remember Graham?
Yep.
He still bowls.
Yep.
PBA major champion. His first big tournament win, it really kind of his big coming out on the national scene. He bowled Proprietors Cup.
Yes.
Him and two buddies split the entry fee in the win a spot. So he paid $60 on the win a spot.
Yep.
Parlays that into winning the tournament, which parlayed that into his PBA career, which he ended up winning a major a year later
That's awesome.
for $60.
Yeah.
Right. So if you don't think that a win a spot's going to do anything for you, well, please meet Mr. Fa.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he turned it into a PBA major. I mean, yeah, obviously he bowled good, there's more to it, but I mean that was kind of his seed money. Hey, look,
Right.
he's still in college. He just got out of college, didn't have money. They had buddies pooled money together, win a spot, win the tournament for what was it, 20 or 25 grand, whatever it was then, and then bowls on tour and wins a major championship.
Yeah, I mean, and we've, on a smaller level, we've had that comparable here. We've had a lot of good local bowlers that have won spots and some from out of state as well that made runs into Sunday morning on a spot that's worth, like I said, $50 to $70, and they're cashing for $600 Sunday morning. We also implemented a re-entry squad a couple of years ago. For the people that are, you're driving 6-7 hours to get here or flying in, there should always be an opportunity to get back in. And we implemented that a few years back, started a little slow, and our feedback's been the same there. Who's really going to have a chance when they've struggled that bad to get back in? And Kurt Pilon was the epitome of that. He struggled really bad. He didn't make it through 2 years ago. Bought his way into the reentry, squeezes in probably in like 6th spot, and then really runs it over Saturday night into Sunday, makes a great run, and just ran into EJ in the final. But, finishing second place after going through a complete reentry,
Yeah.
that's tough work.
For tournament directors out there, I think that the re-entry of the Desperado squad is one of the best things you can ever implement to a tournament, because the benefits are you increase your prize fund without affecting your pay ratio.
Correct.
So it's a no-brainer.
Correct.
I mean, It's almost like having a sponsor.
Yeah,
But in the same thing, you give players a chance to still get into the next round.
right, exactly. You know, when we started it, for any tournament directors out there that have tried it and they've gone, oh my God, it just failed and it didn't do well, we started with 2 people. When I did it the first year at Collins Bowling Center, Eastland, and Lexington, I had 2 people in the reentry squad. I was told by so many people it was the craziest thing that I'd ever done, and it was never going to work. And you know, you're ruining the tournament doing this. And you know, I think that holding true to your values and sticking with your guns of what your intentions are and visions are for the tournament are ultimately going to make it successful for us. We persevered with it with a lot of the changes that we've done to try and make it better. That Desperado was one of them. You know, also taking good feedback from a lot of educated people really helps. Tom Doherty was a great help to me. He's always been a good person to bounce stuff off of. He's given me great feedback on the tournament, always constructive. And it was part of his feedback why we modified the Desperado to 2 games instead of 3, time-wise and bowler-wise, and all of those subtle modifications have continue to help us make the tournament better for the
Well, where
bowlers.
they do the, where the Desperados really get big is overseas in Europe, and they're just 1-gamers there.
They are. And
But they'll have a few hundred people in them.
right, and Tom actually talked to me about that. You know, he said we could look at making it a 1, and he mentioned a lot of people do that over bowling in the European tour.
Or
And I-
get really crazy, have 2 Desperados a game apiece.
right.
4 and 4, and then you really help. I mean, heck, then you can really bump it. I mean, you can drop the entry fee by a small percentage, but if you can double your entries, you really help the overall.
Yeah, I mean, and
Overall number.
that's been another big thing that we've aspired to do as well. You know, there's a lot of tournaments nationwide that just continue to bump how much they're charging. I think $350 for an event like this, what we're doing, is fair, to be honest.
Yep.
The money on top is good. Again, the money on the bottom is almost double your entry. You know, I don't want to see the fee just dispersed to the bowler. I think
And that's 1 in 5, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so 1 in 5 pay ratio.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of doing that. You know, there's a lot of tournaments that will continue to raise the price, and then they offset that by passing it on to the bowler. There's got to be a certain point where the industry taps out on that and says, look, these guys are paying a lot of money. Let's figure out a different way to do it and be creative. And I think bowling has a lot of opportunity to get different sponsors involved in these events. These are a lot of blue-collar guys that will actually take advantage and help out and support the people that sponsor the event. That's why everybody that's sponsoring us, Classic Products that do everything for us, you know, we try to encourage everybody to go through them. They're great for us. They're great for the tournament, the centers around here. CTD the same way. You know, Cubica AMF, everyone that's helping to sponsor, every little bit helps. Big Four Sox, David Slavin, all the guys out there that are participating and sponsoring these events, you know, we should all reciprocate and help them out. No different
Absolutely.
than any other new sponsors that get involved. I think all of our bowlers would legitimately support these brands because they're supporting us, and that's what we should try to do instead of rolling that cost out to the bowlers. Wrapping up, what, game 4?
Correct. This is the end of game 4. 1 more qualifying game. How are we doing time-wise? We're on schedule. No re-oil. Next round, yeah, we're good. Next round's at 12:30, so that should give everybody time to clear out, come in, and hit the next round. Perfect.
Yeah, we're in really good shape. You know,
And the Desperado is immediately following B Squad. Is that right?
yeah.
then-
Immediately following B, we'll make another announcement as this starts to wrap up. We'll let everybody know for about the 30 bowlers that won't make this cut that there is the Desperado 2-game re-entry afterwards. And go from there.
So that could be a quick round. Just spread them all out as much as you can, a couple of pair, and
Yeah, definitely.
quick 2-gamer, and then re-oil, dinner break, and come back at 7 o'clock for the advancers round.
Yeah, and we did the advancers round, like I said, at 6 games instead of 5. So anyone advancing, they either get that extra game to even out a bad one, or they get that extra game to continue doing what they've been doing well. So it can work both ways for them out there.
And pins drop.
Pins do drop, yeah, because especially with the Desperado in there, there's no way to we can't roll those pins over.
Right.
So going into Saturday night, everybody starts fresh. You roll through A or B, or get through the Desperado for the 8 spots. The top 108 that advance, their pins stick and carry. So the only thing that their pins do not carry. They start fresh. In the evening, the top 40 bowlers to Sunday morning, their pins stick and carry. And then the 6 games additionally, they bowl Sunday morning, will be accumulated 12 to determine our top 8.
We start at what time tomorrow morning? Mind it for our fans?
Yet to be determined. I'd say we're aiming for 9 a.m., but it really depends on how everything goes this evening.
Gotcha.
I think 9 a.m. was the magic number for us last year. So I'm hoping for that. Gives everybody a little bit of recoup time. I'd love an extra half an hour myself.
6 a pair, starting at 7, 5 hours, done at midnight.
Yeah, about that. So, yeah, while I've got a quick second, I'd wanted to thank Scott Hewitt, Brett Spangler, everyone at Motive. They've been super with everything they've done. Always supportful, always supporting, always great feedback. A lot of the fellow Motive team here today. A lot of the new signees and a lot of people that have bowled with Motive for a long time. So obviously like to thank the Wilbur family for their support as well.
Michael Heilman in 3rd place, one of your new guys after 3.
Yeah, Gene Perez started out pretty well earlier too. I'd have to see where he's at right now.
He just shot 216 that last game.
Zach Doty, 22nd. There's a lot. Gene's at 30th. I know there's more in the next squad as well, so really, really appreciate the support. I know Nathan Boer's on the way up to bowl B squad. Tyler Slayball's down there bowling.
Nathan, if you're listening, please bring your jersey with your face on it. Best jersey in bowling.
But yeah, team's been super great. It's a great group of people. Always awesome feedback. It genuinely feels like a family atmosphere to me. So I can't thank them enough for what they've done. And their support goes a long way. They help us be able to do a lot of things and generate a lot more revenue to go towards the bowlers for the prize fund. So, look forward to continuing our work with all the Motive family. Again, want to thank Scott and Brett for all their help. And shortly we'll be moving forward with another project as well. I'll early announce that Motive are jumping on board as the official equipment sponsor for the Derby tournament this year at Executive Strike and Spare.
Very nice.
So they are actually being joined by CTD, Creating Difference with Ron Hicklin. He's going to be there each weekend as well. So, a couple of sponsors from here with the Bradley are jumping on board with another event as well. So I look forward to working with them as I do with this event.
Big Chafarran, as we said, he was just outside of the number coming into this game, and that gets him to a little 200 where he can make up some pins. He'll be inside the top 50 after this one. Tony Lambert was our leader. Going to max at 198, but he's okay.
Yeah, I think he's pretty safe. Definitely think he's pretty safe.
course, it was nice having Terry Rohrer in here, another one of your sponsors, Cubic AMF. Terry's helped me out last night and all this block, providing some color commentary, some stories, and talking about some of the Cubic AMF products. And we talked last night, hyperbowling, that's my favorite. I would bowl the hyperbowling league tomorrow.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
So
You
much
know,
fun.
Terry's great. He's been super supportful as well. You know, Cubic AMF jumping on board this year was awesome for us. You know, some sponsors couldn't participate this year, and we were sad to see him go. But you know, every time that you lose something else great comes along, and Terry was awesome to jump on board. Again, another person super knowledgeable, great feedback, gives some great colorful commentary out there. So. Yeah, they've done a lot of great work for us. I've worked with Terry over at Executive Strike and Spare. I've been there as a GM for a year now. You know, we installed a lot of new stuff. We've had new synthetic lanes installed over there, and at the same time, Terry just brought in all the scoring with Cubic AMF in May. We installed that throughout the facility, throughout the 62 lanes, and it's awesome. You know, anything from the new scoring to the punch light system. You know, I couldn't ask for better stuff out there.
And just like that, Game 4 is almost done. We've got 2 more players to finish up their 10th frame here on 25 and 6. We'll have a fresh group of players heading this direction. I think Daniel Ferris is going to be on 23 and 4. He was among our leaders
And
after 3.
I was going to say on there, to touch back on what we were talking about for winning spots, how I would try to encourage anybody watching the stream today and contemplating maybe doing this for next year. And it's never too early to do these winning spots for me. I will never turn away a spot from someone turning it in. In the top 12 right now, we have, Tony's obviously leading. Daniel Farish won his spot. He's sitting in second. Jacob Gazel sitting in sixth, won his spot. Steve Novak in 10th is on a winning spot.
So all local. So who was like the farthest away? Where was the farthest winning spot done? Do you know?
For a winning spot, I know that there's been some in northern Ohio and some in Indiana area. We actually did quite a few at Murfreesboro Strike and Spare in Tennessee. So Philip Cox is the GM there. Good friend and been super helpful again with the event. Ran quite a few qualifiers inside another tournament of his, and I've got quite a few bowlers here in this squad that are actually bowling and today. So, you know, hopefully we can do a couple more of those and push the event numbers up a little bit more, especially through those. But again, like I said, if I look through the top 20, 25, there's easily 4 to 6 people in there that won their spot for about 50, 60 bucks.
That's the way to do it.
Definitely.
So we're going to have player movement in Game 5. Thanks, Jason, for sitting down for a little bit. I know it's probably one of the few times you get to sit down all weekend. So
Yeah, definitely.
you know the chair's always there when you're ready. Let's take a quick break and come back with Game 5 here in just a couple minutes.
Thanks.
Yes.
All right, Terry's back. We should have our scores here in a bit because Terry's got people, as we know. I'm not sure how we're going to get scores once he leaves, but we'll figure it out. Bradley Open Facebook page also has the numbers. Ron Hicklin, we know, jumped in. He shot a little 2-0 that last game, jump up inside the top 50. As he was just on the outside looking in, but he got a game to go.
So Ron Hicklin went 162, 231, 130. Little Century Club there. Only way to join the Century Club is 100 over, 100 under. Back-to-back games. And then a 2-0, you said? So 200 will jump you around a few people
Absolutely.
today. Yeah, I was up at the counter talking to the Carter brothers, the proprietors here at Ken Bowl and Dixie Bowl here in Louisville, and they're doing a great job here. Place is awesome, taking care of the bowlers. And, of course, got you a little internet connection. So
We worked on it. We got it. And Phil Vance in the Pro Shop, too. Let's not forget about Phil working here all weekend. It's great to see Pro Shops open during tournaments because a lot of times you don't see that.
What do you think he's making sand and bowling balls today?
He's fresh out of 180 grit pads.
180? Why did someone go so high?
True Value Hardware across the road is also out of sandpaper.
One of the best ones I ever saw when I bowled regionals back in the day, Don Janello from Toledo, famous for always liking a little sandpaper. Someone glued 9 rocks to a piece of corrugated and said, Don Janello, 00.
Sam Cooley had found an 80 grit pad of some sort last year. And it worked out well for him. I think he made Final Four.
You can literally buy lane screen still.
Oh, that's what right? The old Scotch Brights and the screens, years ago, how you did resurface balls by hand.
Oh, yeah.
Razor blade. There you go.
Lane 26, I saw that.
There you go.
I saw that.
It's a strike on the board. Daniel Farish off to our left, who has been around the leaders, having a good tournament so far. Keeping the ball in front of him, keeping it in play.
220, 220, 220.
Yeah.
674 for 3.
He's probably not in brackets either.
Yeah, by the way, just for all of you listening out there, Jeff Fair said he didn't play any action. He had his reasons for not playing actions. He thought the motion that he saw on the left side would keep him out of action. So then we talked to Tony Lambert and Gene Perez, and both of them are not playing action.
Which I don't understand.
So
A.J. Rice, who gets an all, is going to be the beneficiary of all that, regardless of what he's shooting, because nobody else got in.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of scary when you watch people piss away money like that.
Hey, we're right here. Yeah, come see us. We're right here.
I told Tony, I said, the next time you don't want to play action on this pattern with
in
that
this
look,
center where you
in this center, right, where you bowl juniors, you let me know and I'll give you $100.
I don't think they actually released the pattern yet, William Gannon, but we know it's.
They can't. Well, first off, there's
no
machine.
It's not really a pattern.
Yeah, there's no machine that can measure this amount of oil. Is there?
Well, we can make up the graph. You just put a piece of paper out and just pour some ink out of an ink blotter on the page, and there you go. There's your pattern.
Well,
or just pick any picture from the Rorschach test. Yeah, there's your pattern.
Right. So once again, a dipstick could probably measure this. It might be the only way to truly measure this is how high up the dipstick this volume of oil is. Because once again, it's not milliliters, it's ounces that are out there on the lane. It's funny how everyone's ball is shiny.
Yeah, they weren't earlier.
By the second game.
Well, they had to bring in a dumpster just for all the bowling ball dust, just to take all the dust away. Yes, we're joking, but serious at the same time. It's.
So the Pro Shop guy says he goes and buys all of the 0 Scotch Brite he can find and 3 vacuum bags for the shop vac.
I was wondering why I had a pressure washer out back behind the shop, too. I think we know now why.
We joke that best way to get your ball on the right surface is to throw it in the back of a Rhino lining truck and drive here. Let it roll around in the back. It'll have enough surface on it when it gets here to be probably in play. So while Jason was on live stream, I took a walk through the bowling center, and literally there are people playing everywhere. There's people pointing it off the gutter. There's people playing the fourth arrow. I wish I could stay for B Squad and watch. And once again, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
And
you can watch safely as you're driving home on your cell phone.
No, because I'd start laughing. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, if I just listen.
Just put it on Bluetooth, and I'll I'll keep you entertained. Try not to put you to sleep.
But yeah, no. Once again, thanks for having me on, and watching how the B squad is going to play this is going to be very interesting because the left side looks like they've all kind of played in that same zone, but now the right, there's Ronnie
Sparks.
Yep, Ronnie playing up 15. I see guys playing it pointed off the gutter. I saw one guy trying to fade the pocket, and I watched him and he threw one shot. I was like, well, that didn't look too bad because the ball kind of went through the pins the right way down lane. And, typically how you play a long pattern, right? You get inside and just try not to get the ball right at 16 or 17. And his next shot missed the headpin right. And then I stood there just long enough to see his next shot. It missed the headpin left. So playing 25 and fading the pocket might not be the place to play. So this is game 5, everybody. We still have a few listeners there, right?
We do.
All right, good.
A squad qualifying. That means B squad is next at 12:30, and it should be on. Well, what time is it? I was just looking. It's 11:30. Yeah, we'll be on time. There's no re-oil, so.
remember, the lane machine needs 20 minutes of recharging halfway through the house to make it.
Yeah. So that puts our re-entry squad at like 5 o'clock, and then that'll be a quick 2-game, and then they re-oil. So we'll have a little dinner break.
My guess is the 7 o'clock squad is not going to go off on time.
I don't know. I think it's
If it takes
possible.
If it takes 2 minutes to oil the lane, plus setting it up and recharging halfway through, it's going to take an hour and a half.
Yeah, I think we'll be close. I'm optimistic.
Well, considering everyone's throwing 2 shots. So what's your guess right now? So 120 under is looking like a pretty good number to make it off of this squad. If the next squad has the same amount of people, you think averaging 170 gets you in again? Makes it 2 tonight?
Yeah, I don't see how it's going to change that much, regardless of strength of field.
All right, so then if 170 makes it, when you get to the 2-game Desperado, so the 2-game Desperado is going to be everybody who averaged less than 170.
Right, and 8
trying to
players
get in.
get to make it. 40 over.
Will lead it or make it?
No, I think 40 over will easily make it at that point.
The 2-game Desperado.
And that's going to be on the double burn, I guess.
Right, so that'll be on double burn. And remember, keeping in mind, everyone who has averaged 170 or better is already in. They've made the cut. So you've got another 60 guys bowling for 8 spots if everyone were to re-enter, right? If everyone re-enters, so when you take a look at that, you've got guys averaging 120, right?
Yeah.
So you got, there's 20 some odd guys that bowled less than 500. So if all of those guys were to re-enter, you think plus makes it off the re-entry squad?
I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, I think anyone who bowls plus
I
would be in solid. I
think so. But so there's, I guess there's your answer. That's how we stay on time, is you use half the house of the Desperado and start oiling.
Yeah, that would help. But 350 in the Desperado might make it into the.
It's possible.
Because 350 would be the average you needed to make the first cut.
The danger would always be if there's only 9 guys on Desperado and 8 guys make it, don't be that 9th guy.
The guy shoots 120 and walks out, doesn't even want to bowl second game.
Yeah.
The other guys, you can stop now. We're already
Yeah, but he
in.
can shoot 220 and get back in.
And pass everybody.
Yeah. Good times here at Ken Bowl in Louisville.
Well, 27 and 28. 27 and 28's got no splits yet halfway through this game.
No chance that finishes that way. I'll bet you that John Perez lunch if there's no chance that pair. Because there's 5 a pair on there now, there's going to be a split. That could be right there.
Your only break there was if the 2-pin fell out of that.
weight. I've not seen a 5.710 yet, which I'm very surprised by.
It's hard for the right-handers to leave a 5.710 pointed off the right corner. If they all get in and start playing 25, I like the chances. Just watch the young man make the 7.8 there. That's pretty impressive.
Mitch Beasley's on the next squad. How about a guy that can slow loop it, but is he going to be able to get the ball to come back? I mean, we know don't give the pocket away, don't send it right. How does that going to play for his game? Only one way to find out. A.J. Rice, front three, 9 spare strike, 9 spare strike, 4. 4 through the face. And that's a 4-4 frame for Mr. Rice. That's where bowling gets you. He gets up there in the 8th frame saying, oh, I got, 230s, 240s, pretty soft, and then 4-4. Now your max is 2 1/4. So we talked yesterday about styles. This is one of my favorites right here. Ronnie Sparks on lane 28. Look at, there's 0 head movement. Post every shot. And just money. If I could teach that, I would teach that, and I would make a lot of money as an instructor.
Yes. And then you have to put that mental game in there where it doesn't matter if you're bowling for your team to win a game in league or if you're bowling for $12,000, it's the same shot.
Yeah. And Ronnie's a guy, he's got a pretty darn good mental game. He just doesn't bowl a lot, doesn't bowl tour. But former Team USA, bowled collegiately at Wichita, won a national title. With the guys there, but he just doesn't, he's one of the toughest guys in the Midwest.
Right.
No question. But hasn't gotten to that national notoriety. Trust me, the guys on tour know who he is.
Yeah,
There's no question.
Yeah,
but the normal bowling fan may not know a lot about Ronnie, but Ronnie's solid.
Yes. There's a lot of guys across the country that you see in events like this. You don't see them making TV shows or bowling tour events unless it's like in their town or they have a chance to do it because they have a full-time job. Gene Stuss was famous for the fact that why give up a job at GM making great money? Then when he retired, he went out and dominated the senior tour. Yeah. And he would have dominated the tour, but why go out and try to bowl for a living when you've got a great job and a great income at home?
There's another senior guy, right? He was a mailman? Who was that?
Pennsylvania. Yes. I can see his face. Just passed away a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Hershina? John Hershina?
John Hershina.
Yep. And so that is a that is something where good job, stay at home, bowl when you can. And
Adam Barta.
Yeah, another one.
Is he bowling this next squad?
You know what? I don't know.
He should be.
Once again, guys that could have made a pretty good living out there, but chose to stay home and take care of family, and which I totally respect that, totally understand it.
100%.
Yep.
It's as we kind of started alluding to, it's not easy. Yeah, hey, the guys are bowling it, traveling all over, traveling the world. It's great. Try it for a couple months.
There's how you make the washout.
Washout.
Throw the ball in the exact same spot, and this one hooked just a touch more than the last one.
I mean, you and I were talking about all the places we've been last year. I mean, I flew 125,000 miles last year.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I went to some cool places, but usually you show up. I mean, like, okay, yesterday I got in at noon, come right to the bowling center, set up, have dinner. We're back here till midnight, back at 8 o'clock in the morning till midnight. same thing, and leave tomorrow.
Right. There's. Yes, I'd love to stay in my own bed and stay at home, and I got out of the bowling business for about 20 years, 17 years, something like that, and to watch my son grow up and be home every night and see him and be around that. Now that he's off to college, I jump back in this world, and I'm spending 200 nights a year on the road. And every once in a while you get lucky, you're in a town where there's a concert going on, and you leave the hotel and you get to go. I was in Nashville, and I saw Sheryl Crow play at the Ryman Auditorium.
Fantastic.
Yeah, really, really neat, opportunity to take advantage of.
So I'm looking forward to baseball season. I caught a game in Seattle last year.
Very nice.
I want to try to sneak in a few more this year.
Yeah.
You gotta plan it right. So I think every time I was in San Diego, the Padres were out of town,
Right.
so that didn't work. I was actually on my way to a Dodger game this year. Just finished my last visit on the way to the ball game, and my wife called in San Antonio. She wrecked her car. So I turned to the airport and went home.
Yep. You have to. Yep. Got to take care of family.
Yeah, Tony Lambert's still our leader.
Yep.
Go ahead, take those scores.
953 for our leader after 4 with a 187 game. He's still 150 over. Jeff Fair shoots 214 to get back to 74 over. Justin Knowles is now in third place with 868. Daniel Farish is fifth place with 864. And let's get down here to 13th place. There's only 13 people over, and that's Jim Pratt at 806. Let's jump down the list here a little bit to 50th place. 50th place is Chad Gilbert at 703, minus 97. So you're still on that 120 pace.
And high game jackpot, 235.
That's, yep.
Justin Knowles.
So now,
If he got in, because apparently nobody got in any action.
all right, so Gene Perez, game 4, says I'm going to shoot 260. I'll bet you that lunch on that. About the fifth frame, he pocket 710, and I said, that's another lunch for me. And I said, I'll give you a chance to make it back. If you shoot 450 for the last 2, so he shoots 216 that game, so he's got to shoot 234. He basically has to have the high game, the last game, to get 450 for the last 2 and get his lunch back from me.
Yeah. Nope. So here's how a 200 game helps you. So Ron Hicklem, he said he shot 211.
Nope.
He jumped 20 spots.
Yeah.
The 211.
Yep. And Gene Perez cannot do it. It looks like I'm getting a free lunch.
He tried every way he can imagine to win that bet back, and it just wasn't happening. Good effort, Gene, but yeah, no. So we will break the stream. B Squad will be a separate stream. Starts at 12:30. Just a reminder, thanks to all the sponsors. You see them going across the bottom of your screen. I'll run through them again here real quick. Of course, we've got Motive Bowling, the Hewitt family. We got Classic Bowling Products, High Five Gear. Of course, Terry Rohr here from Cubic AMF. And Dave Slavin in Big Four Sox. Feel better, Dave. You're a little under the weather, but you know what? Health is more important than being in the bowling center all weekend. We got you covered here, and lots of Big Four Sox on these bowlers' feet all over the place. So thanks to all the sponsors. We appreciate that. These events don't happen, and the streams don't happen if we don't have the sponsors. So go out there and buy a jersey, buy some socks, buy some bowling balls. Tell them all thank you and how much we appreciate their support. There we go. We had back-to-back splits on 27 and 28 now. But they made it till frame 7 without a split. That's a new record.
That pair must be getting a little easier. What do you think?
No. You got a 5-bagger in that. Even if that player finishes 270s, I don't see the pair averaging 190. Stuff, it makes it fun. We get some good conversations. AJ Rice, we said, had a good game going. He goes 4-4-8-1. So AJ Rice, front 3, 9-spare strike, 9-spare strike. He's thinking 240s. He's not going to shoot 200.
4-4-8-1.
4-4-8-1, and then the 7-pin.
So if he 9 spares, he shoots $194. In the fifth frame, you think you're going to. Now, 194, he's still going to jump around 20 people.
Yeah, oh yeah, but but that's with,
Well, no, not-
mentally.
Yeah, probably not where he's at
No,
in the
but
list. He won't
mentally,
jump
you got to
20 people.
think, how did they just screw that game up?
Yeah. So let's go through the list here. Tony Lambert, Jeff Fair, Justin Knowles, Dana Ferris. We told you about those guys. Kevin Williams, Nick Crummell, Michael Holman, Jacob Uzel, Osku, Steve Novak, Brandon Flora, Caleb Miller, Jim Pratt. That's your 13 guys that are plus.
And 4 on the left
Yep.
out of the top 10.
Zach Doty, Matt Sanders, Gene Perez, Stu Williams, Ronnie Sparks, Liz Johnson's 26, Tracy Lambert, past champion 27th, AJ Rice is 29, Brent Boho, Jacob Rowan, Mike Weigel, local guy here, Ron Hicklin jumped to 37th, like we said, Joshua Lewis, Steve Taylor. There's a few other names here. Nolan White to pass through, Tyler Slayball's in here, and Frank Snodgrass is 48.
Where's Frank?
Frank Snodgrass is bowling on lane 22 the last game.
Yeah, he's letter what?
Frank's
Because high game was 194. That
E.
was AJ Rice.
E.
E?
Letter E, yeah. So he shot
163.
163. That's not going to be what you need. Because if 50th place is 703, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6
He might have just
people
bowled
are
himself right in the Desperado squad.
7. There's 8 people within 11 pins of that number.
Whew. That's he'll be sweating that one.
Yeah.
Make that top 50. And he had 3 splits that game and opened the last frame, I believe. Oh, 9 spare 8 in the 10th. So it's going to have to wait and see. That's all you can do. So just a reminder, after these last couple shots, we will break the stream, get a new one set for B Squad, and be back at 12:30 Eastern Time. Or a few minutes. I mean, they practice, so 12:40. No need to show all that practice. It's not that exciting.
Yep. Well, once again, thank you for having me on. I appreciate
Anytime.
it. And
It's been a while.
yeah, we'll have to do it again soon.
So back to the Petraglia system. The player on 27 threw the ball twice. He got 6 on the first ball. No, what's the count? Let's look at this. Again, not making fun of him, but it shows you how difficult this is. So he got 5 on the first shot, 4 on the second, and the head pin's still standing when he was done. And you're not trying to hook it. You're not trying to circle in. You're not giving the pocket away. But it shows you it's tough. And that ball looked like it was flush all the way, and it's a 3-6-7. Use the zippers on your bowling bags. Boys and girls, they don't fall out when you pick up the bag. Every tournament, you hear that happening.
Everyone.
Gravity wins.
Every time I've been involved with gravity, it tends to win. All right, so 4 splits on 27 and 28. That's a little below the average, but had we went 5 players in a game without a split on that pair, I would have thought someone re-oiled the lane with the house shot.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Terry, thank you. A couple frames to go. Enjoy the ambient sounds of Ken Bowl these last couple frames. And we're back with B Squad at 12:30. And safe travels.
Thank you, sir. We'll see you down the road. And
Absolutely.
good luck to everyone bowling this afternoon.
And thanks for watching, everybody. Back in a little bit.